Once upon a time, in a charming village surrounded by rolling hills and meadows, there was a tranquil lake known as Moonlit Lake. Every night, when the moonlight touched its surface, the lake would sparkle with magical colors, and it was said that the lake held the power to grant a single wish to those who showed true bravery and kindness. In this village lived a young girl named Lila, known for her gentle spirit and her love for animals. Her little brother, Tom, had fallen ill with a mysterious ailment that none of the village healers could cure. Lila, desperate to help Tom, decided to seek out the magic of Moonlit Lake in the hopes of finding a cure. One evening, under the light of a full moon, Lila set out for the lake. She walked through the meadows, her heart filled with both hope and anxiety. As she reached the edge of the lake, she marveled at the way the moonlight made the water glisten like a blanket of stars. A soft, shimmering voice greeted her. "Welcome, Lila. I am the spirit of Moonlit Lake. What brings you to my waters?" Lila took a deep breath and spoke with sincerity. "I have come to make a wish for my little brother Tom. He is very ill, and I hope that the magic of this lake can heal him." The spirit of the lake responded gently, "To receive the magic of the lake, you must first prove your bravery and kindness. There are 3 tasks you must complete. Only then will your wish be granted." Lila nodded, her resolve firm. "I will do whatever it takes." The first task led Lila into the enchanted forest, where she encountered a family of deer trapped by a fallen tree. The deer were frightened and unable to escape. Lila, with her strong will and gentle hands, carefully removed the branches and lifted the tree enough for the deer to get free. The grateful deer offered her a glowing feather as a token of their thanks. The second task was to cross a wide, raging river. The river was known for its swift currents and treacherous waters. As Lila approached the riverbank, she saw a family of beavers struggling to build a dam against the strong current. Without hesitation, Lila joined them, helping to reinforce the dam with sturdy branches and stones. Her hard work and determination helped the beavers complete their dam, creating a safe crossing point for her. The third and final task took Lila to the Whispering Grove, a place where the trees were known to speak in hushed tones. There, Lila encountered a grumpy old troll who guarded a bridge. The troll demanded a riddle be solved to pass. "Answer me this," the troll grumbled. "What can travel around the world while staying in a corner?" Lila thought carefully and then smiled. "A stamp." The troll's eyes widened in surprise, and he allowed her to cross the bridge with a nod of approval. With all 3 tasks completed, Lila returned to Moonlit Lake, carrying the glowing feather from the deer and the heartfelt thanks of the beavers and the troll. The spirit of the lake appeared once more, its voice warm and reassuring. "You have shown great bravery and kindness, Lila. Your heart is pure, and you have fulfilled the tasks set before you. Your wish shall now be granted." The spirit waved its hand, and a soft, golden light enveloped Lila. The light shimmered and then traveled through the night, reaching her home and gently touching Tom. As the light faded, Tom stirred and awoke, feeling stronger and healthier. When Lila returned home, she found Tom smiling and full of energy. The village celebrated the miraculous recovery, and Lila's bravery and kindness became a cherished story among the villagers. The Moonlit Lake continued to sparkle under the moonlight, its magic a reminder that true courage and kindness could bring about the most wonderful changes. Once upon a time, in a lush, green land filled with towering trees and sparkling streams, there was a magical forest known as Evergreen Hollow. This forest was enchanted, and its beauty was unmatched. Its trees had shimmering leaves, its flowers sparkled like gems, and its creatures lived in harmony. But the most magical of all was a small, clever fox named Finn. Finn was no ordinary fox. He had a special gift: he could understand and speak to the creatures of the forest. Finn's best friend was a wise old owl named Oliver. Together, they explored every nook and cranny of Evergreen Hollow, always discovering new wonders and sharing stories. One day, while Finn and Oliver were perched on a high branch of an ancient oak tree, they noticed something troubling. The once vibrant colors of the forest seemed to be fading. The flowers drooped, the streams lost their sparkle, and even the cheerful chirps of the birds sounded weary. Finn's keen eyes soon spotted the source of the problem. At the heart of the forest, there stood a great, majestic tree known as the Heartwood Tree. It was said that the Heartwood Tree's magic kept the entire forest alive and vibrant. But now, it looked withered and sad, its branches hanging low, its bark dull and cracked. Oliver, who had seen many things in his long life, explained to Finn, the Heartwood Tree is losing its magic. Legends say that if the Heartwood Tree's light fades completely, the magic of Evergreen Hollow will be lost forever. Determined to save their home, Finn bravely stepped forward. I'll find out what's wrong and fix it, he declared. Oliver hooted in agreement, you are brave, Finn. But remember, the Heartwood Tree's magic is linked to the balance of the forest. Seek out the enchanted beings and ask for their help. Finn set off on his quest. He first visited Bella the butterfly, who fluttered around the forest flowers, barely managing to stay aloft. Bella revealed that she had seen strange, dark mist spreading from the northern part of the forest. Next, Finn traveled to the burrow of Tommy the turtle, who was known for his wisdom. Tommy explained that the dark mist was an ancient curse, awakening after many centuries. It had been placed by a disgruntled sorcerer who had been banished long ago. The curse sapped the life force of the forest. Feeling more determined than ever, Finn journeyed towards the north, where the mist grew thicker. The air became colder, and the once familiar forest sounds were replaced by eerie silence. Finn pressed on, guided by his heart and the hope of saving his beloved home. Finally, Finn reached a shadowy clearing near the dark mist was strongest. In the center stood an old, twisted figure, the sorcerer who had cast the curse long ago. He was now a mere shadow of his former self, his power diminished but still capable of causing harm. The sorcerer glared at Finn. What do you want, little fox? He croaked. Finn took a deep breath and spoke with courage, I've come to lift the curse. Evergreen Hollow is a place of magic and harmony. It doesn't deserve to suffer because of your anger. The sorcerer's eyes softened slightly. He began to speak of his past, how he had once been a guardian of the forest but had been wronged by those he tried to protect. His bitterness had turned him into a dark sorcerer, and the curse was his way of seeking revenge. Finn listened patiently and then offered a solution. Forgive the past, and let us restore the magic of the forest together. You have the power to heal, not just to harm. The sorcerer hesitated but was touched by Finn's compassion and bravery. With a heavy heart, he agreed to undo the curse. As he chanted the reversal spell, the dark mist began to dissipate, and the Heartwood Tree's magic was restored. The once fading colors of Evergreen Hollow returned, brighter and more vibrant than ever. The sorcerer, now freed from his anger, vowed to protect the forest alongside Finn and Oliver. He became a guardian of light, using his knowledge to help the forest rather than harm it. Finn returned to the Heartwood Tree, where all the creatures of Evergreen Hollow gathered to celebrate. The forest sparkled with renewed magic, and Finn was hailed as a hero. The animals rejoiced, and the Heartwood Tree's branches once again reached for the sky, full of life and energy. From that day on, Finn and his friends continued to explore and protect their enchanted home. The sorcerer, now a friend, used his powers for good, and the forest thrived in harmony. And Finn, the brave little fox, knew that no matter the challenge, courage and kindness could overcome even the darkest of curses. And so, Evergreen Hollow remained a place of wonder and magic, where every day was a new adventure for those who cherished its beauty. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time in the bustling town of Willowbrook, there stood a quaint old amusement park known for its magnificent carousel. Unlike any other, this carousel was rumored to be enchanted. It was said that if you rode it under the light of the full moon, you could visit places you'd only ever dreamed of. One crisp autumn evening, a young girl named Lily stumbled upon the park as she was walking home from school. Her heart leaped with excitement when she saw the carousel, its painted horses gleaming under the twilight sky. Lily had heard the stories about the magical carousel and had always wished to see if they were true. As the sun set and the moon began to rise, Lily approached the carousel. She noticed a beautiful, silver horse with a mane like flowing moonlight. It looked different from the other horses, almost as if it was calling out to her. Lily hesitated for a moment but then decided to take a ride. Just as she mounted the silver horse, the carousel began to spin slowly. The music that played was soft and magical, like a lullaby carried on the wind. The carousel started to whirl faster and faster, and Lily felt a tingling sensation. The world around her became a blur of colors and lights. Suddenly, the spinning stopped. Lily looked around and saw she was no longer in the park. She was in a lush, enchanted forest filled with trees that sparkled like diamonds. The air was fragrant with the scent of blooming flowers, and the ground was covered in soft, glowing moss. Lily could hardly believe her eyes. A gentle voice spoke from behind her. "Welcome, Lily," it said. She turned to see a fairy with shimmering wings and a kind smile. "I'm Elara, the guardian of the Forest of Dreams. This is a special place where wishes come true and dreams come alive." Lily's eyes widened with wonder. "How do you know my name?" Elara smiled. "The carousel is magic. It knows the hearts of those who ride it. I've been watching over it for a long time, waiting for someone like you to come." The fairy guided Lily through the forest, showing her marvelous sights: trees that whispered secrets, rivers of liquid gold, and flowers that danced on their stems. They came to a clearing where a grand banquet was set up, filled with delicious treats and glowing lanterns hanging from the trees. As they feasted, Elara told Lily about the history of the Forest of Dreams. It was a place where dreams and reality blended, and anyone with a pure heart could visit. Lily listened with wide eyes, fascinated by the tales of magic and adventure. After the feast, Elara led Lily to a shimmering pond. "This is the Heart Pond," the fairy explained. "It reflects the true desires of those who look into it." Lily peered into the water and saw her reflection smiling back at her. But she also saw images of her family and friends, their faces full of joy and love. She realized that her greatest wish was not for grand adventures, but for the happiness and well-being of those she cared about. Elara nodded in understanding. "The magic of the carousel reflects what is in your heart. Your wish for the happiness of others is truly special." As the moon reached its zenith, Elara took Lily back to the carousel. "It's time for you to return," she said softly. "But remember, the magic of the Forest of Dreams will always be with you." Lily mounted the silver horse once more, and the carousel began to spin. The forest faded away, and she was back in the park, the morning sun beginning to rise. She looked around, feeling a sense of peace and wonder. From that day on, Lily visited the carousel often, not to ride it, but to remember the magic she had experienced. She used the lessons she learned to bring joy and kindness to her everyday life. The enchanted carousel continued to spin, a beacon of hope and dreams, waiting for the next pure-hearted soul to discover its wonders. And so, Lily's heart remained forever touched by the magic of the carousel, reminding her that the truest magic of all is the love and happiness we share with others. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Eldoria, there was a small village named Willowbrook. The village was surrounded by dense forests, sparkling streams, and rolling hills. Willowbrook was a peaceful place, but its people were struggling due to a terrible drought. The crops withered, the animals grew thin, and the once bubbling brook that gave the village its name had nearly dried up. In this village lived a young boy named Finn, known for his kind heart and unwavering optimism. Finn lived with his grandmother, who often told him stories about magical creatures and ancient treasures. His favorite story was about the golden feather, a magical feather from the phoenix of the sun. It was said that the feather could bring life and prosperity wherever it went. One evening, as the sun set over the parched fields, Finn's grandmother called him close. "Finn," she said softly, "the time has come for you to seek the golden feather. Our village is in desperate need, and I believe you have the courage to find it." With his grandmother's blessing and a small satchel of provisions, Finn set off early the next morning. He followed the path through the forest, guided by the tales his grandmother had told him. The journey was long and arduous, but Finn's determination never wavered. As he ventured deeper into the forest, Finn encountered a wise old owl named Athos. Athos perched on a low branch and spoke, "To find the golden feather, you must prove your wisdom. Answer this riddle: what has roots as nobody sees, is taller than trees, up, up it goes, and yet never grows?" Finn thought for a moment, recalling his grandmother's stories. "A mountain," he answered. Athos nodded approvingly and flapped his wings, revealing a hidden path. "Follow this path, and you will find what you seek." Finn continued along the path until he reached a wide, sparkling river. The river's current was swift, and there was no bridge in sight. As he pondered how to cross, a graceful swan glided up to him. "To cross the river, you must prove your kindness," the swan said. "In the reeds, there is a trapped fish. Free it, and I will help you." Finn found the fish tangled in the reeds, struggling to break free. Gently, he untangled the reeds and released the fish into the water. The swan, true to her word, allowed Finn to climb onto her back and ferried him across the river. On the other side, Finn found himself at the foot of a tall, craggy mountain. The path to the top was steep and treacherous, but Finn knew he had to continue. Halfway up the mountain, he encountered a weary traveler sitting by the side of the path. The traveler looked up at Finn with tired eyes and said, "To reach the peak, you must prove your bravery. I have been too afraid to continue. Will you help me?" Finn offered the traveler some of his provisions and encouraged him to keep going. Together, they climbed the mountain, supporting each other when the path became too difficult. When they finally reached the summit, the traveler thanked Finn and revealed himself to be a powerful sorcerer named Alaric. "You have shown great kindness and bravery, Finn," Alaric said. "I will now reveal the location of the phoenix." Alaric waved his hand, and a beam of light pointed to a hidden cave on the mountainside. Inside the cave, the phoenix of the sun sat on a nest of golden feathers. The phoenix's fiery eyes watched Finn as he approached. "Why have you come here, young one?" the phoenix asked in a voice that echoed like a song. With respect, Finn explained the plight of his village and his quest to find the golden feather. The phoenix listened intently and then nodded. "You have shown great courage, kindness, and wisdom on your journey. I will grant you one of my feathers to save your village." The phoenix plucked a single, glowing feather from its nest and handed it to Finn. The feather shimmered with a light that was both warm and soothing. "Use this feather wisely," the phoenix advised. "Its magic is powerful but must be used with a pure heart." Finn thanked the phoenix and began his journey back to Willowbrook. When he returned, he found the villagers gathered in the town square, their faces filled with hope and curiosity. Finn held the golden feather high and spoke, "This feather is a gift from the phoenix of the sun. It will bring life and prosperity back to our village." He touched the feather to the ground, and immediately, the earth began to tremble. Green shoots sprouted from the parched soil, the brook bubbled back to life, and the air was filled with the scent of blooming flowers. The villagers cheered and embraced one another, their despair replaced with joy and gratitude. From that day forward, Willowbrook flourished. The crops grew bountiful, the animals thrived, and the brook ran clear and strong. Finn was hailed as a hero, and the golden feather was placed in a special shrine at the heart of the village, a reminder of the courage and kindness that had saved them all. And so, the village of Willowbrook lived happily ever after, forever grateful to the brave young boy who brought hope and life back to their land. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway land filled with rolling hills and sparkling streams, there was a village named Fernwood. Fernwood was nestled at the edge of the Whispering Forest, a magical place said to be home to fairies, talking animals, and hidden wonders. In this village lived a kind-hearted young woman named Alara. She loved the forest and often wandered its paths, fascinated by the mysterious beauty it held. One sunny morning, as Alara strolled along her favorite trail, she discovered a hidden grove she had never seen before. The trees in this grove were unlike any others, their leaves shimmered in hues of gold and silver, and the flowers that grew here glowed with a soft, otherworldly light. At the heart of the grove stood a grand oak tree with branches that seemed to touch the sky. Intrigued, Elara approached the tree and noticed a small, intricate door carved into its trunk. Above the door was a sign that read, "To those with a pure heart, the magic shall unfold." Elara hesitated for a moment but then gently pushed open the door. Inside, she found a cozy room filled with warm light. On a pedestal in the center of the room rested a golden box adorned with emeralds and sapphires. Elara opened the box, and a delicate, magical mist swirled around her. Inside the box was a scroll with ancient writing. Suddenly, a tiny figure appeared in the air, a fairy named Lumina. She had shimmering wings and a playful smile. "Welcome, Elara," Lumina said with a twinkle in her eye. "You have found the heart of the grove, a place of great magic and wonder. But to unlock its secrets, you must first complete a quest." Elara's eyes widened. "What must I do?" she asked eagerly. Lumina floated gracefully around the room. "There are 3 tasks that you must complete. Each will test your courage, wisdom, and kindness. Only then will you be granted a gift from the grove." Elara agreed without hesitation. Lumina waved her wand, and suddenly, they were outside the grove, standing before a shimmering river. "The first task," Lumina explained, "is to retrieve a golden fish from the river. This fish is guarded by a dragon who lives beneath the water." Elara looked at the river nervously. But with Lumina's encouragement, she waded into the cool water. As she approached the river's center, a gentle, wise dragon named Draconis emerged from the depths. His scales glistened like precious gems. "Greetings, brave one," Draconis said in a deep, soothing voice. "To earn the golden fish, you must solve my riddle." Elara listened closely as Draconis spoke. "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, rivers but no water. What am I?" Elara thought hard. Then, a smile crossed her face. "A map," she answered confidently. Draconis nodded approvingly and handed her a small, golden fish. "You have shown wisdom. Proceed to your next task." With the golden fish safely in hand, Elara and Lumina traveled to the edge of a dense forest. "The second task," Lumina said, "is to find and help a lost deer. This deer has become trapped in a magical thicket." Elara ventured into the forest, her heart guided by compassion. She soon discovered a beautiful deer with shimmering antlers, tangled in vines. Elara gently untangled the vines, whispering soothing words to calm the frightened creature. "Thank you, kind soul," the deer said, its eyes full of gratitude. "You have a pure heart. Here is a magical leaf that will help you with the final task." The leaf sparkled with a soft, emerald glow. Elara and Lumina continued their journey to a towering mountain, where a small, enchanted cave awaited. "The final task," Lumina explained, "is to light the lantern inside the cave. It will reveal the treasure of the heart of the grove." Elara entered the cave, which was dark and mysterious. She used the magical leaf, which glowed brightly, to light the lantern. As the lantern's light spread, the cave revealed a hidden chamber filled with dazzling treasures in a large, radiant crystal at its center. As Elara approached the crystal, it began to speak. "You have completed the tasks with great courage, wisdom, and kindness. The heart of the grove has chosen to reward you." The crystal's light enveloped Elara, and a sense of peace and joy filled her heart. She felt a magical power flow through her, and she knew that she had gained a deep connection to the Whispering Forest. When Elara returned to Fernwood, she found that the village had been touched by the magic of the grove. The fields were lush, the streams sparkled even brighter, and a sense of harmony pervaded the land. From that day on, Elara was known as the guardian of the grove. She continued to care for the forest, and her kindness and bravery were remembered in the tales told by the villagers for generations to come. And so, the Enchanted Grove remained a place of wonder, where magic thrived and the spirit of adventure lived on, inspiring all who dared to seek its secrets. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and sparkling streams, there was an orchard unlike any other. This orchard was known as the Enchanted Orchard, a place where trees whispered secrets to one another and fruits shone with magical light. In the heart of this magical orchard lived a young girl named Lila. Lila was known throughout the village for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She spent her days exploring the orchard, talking to the trees, and picking the shimmering fruits. The villagers believed the orchard was blessed by a fairy queen who had once visited, leaving behind a touch of magic. One crisp autumn morning, as Lila wandered among the apple trees, she noticed something unusual. A small, silver key lay glistening among the fallen leaves. Curious, Lila picked it up, feeling a strange warmth in her hand. She wondered what it could unlock and decided to seek the wisdom of the oldest tree in the orchard, Grand Oak. Grand Oak was a massive, ancient tree with branches that reached the skies. His bark was thick and gnarled, and his leaves rustled softly in the breeze. Lila approached him and gently placed the key at his roots. "Grand Oak," she said, "I found this key today. Do you know what it unlocks?" Grand Oak's leaves trembled as he spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "Ah, young Lila, that key is no ordinary key. It opens the gate to the hidden realm of the orchard. But beware, for the path is full of trials, and the enchantments are powerful. Only those with a true heart can succeed." Lila's eyes sparkled with excitement and determination. "I will find out what lies beyond the gate," she declared. Following Grand Oak's directions, Lila soon discovered an old, vine-covered gate at the edge of the orchard. With a deep breath, she inserted the silver key into the lock and turned it. The gate creaked open, revealing a path that led into a dense, misty forest. As she walked along the path, the mist began to lift, revealing a beautiful and strange land. The trees here were even more magical, with fruits that changed colors and flowers that sang gentle melodies. The air was filled with a sweet, enchanting fragrance, and Lila felt as though she had stepped into a dream. Suddenly, a small, glowing creature fluttered into her path. It was a fairy with delicate wings that shimmered like a rainbow. "Welcome, Lila," the fairy said in a tinkling voice. "I am Iris, guardian of this realm. To continue, you must solve 3 riddles. Each riddle will bring you closer to the heart of our magic." Lila nodded eagerly. "I'm ready." The first riddle was, "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, mountains but no rocks, and water but no fish. What am I?" Lila thought for a moment and then answered, "A map." Iris smiled and led her to the second riddle, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Lila pondered and then said, "An echo." Iris's eyes twinkled with approval as she presented the final riddle, "I am not alive. But I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Lila thought hard, and then, with a smile, answered, "A fire." Iris clapped her hands with delight. "You have answered all 3 riddles correctly. You have proven yourself worthy. Follow me." Iris guided Lila to a magnificent clearing where a grand, ancient tree stood in the center. Its trunk was covered in glowing runes, and its branches were adorned with sparkling crystals. The tree's heart glowed with a warm, inviting light. "This is the heart tree," Iris explained. "It holds the magic that keeps our realm alive. Because you have shown bravery and wisdom, we wish to share this magic with you." The heart tree's light enveloped Lila, filling her with a sense of peace and joy. She felt a deep connection to the magical world around her. "Thank you," she said. Iris smiled. "Remember, Lila, the magic of this realm is always with you, as long as you keep your heart true and your spirit adventurous." With that, Lila returned to the village, carrying with her a newfound sense of wonder and a deeper appreciation for the magic in her world. The villagers noticed the change in her and marveled at the new tales she had to tell. And so, the Enchanted Orchard continued to thrive, its magic now known and cherished even more by those who walked among its trees. Lila's adventures became legendary, and her heart remained forever touched by the wonders of the hidden realm. And they all lived happily ever after. In a land where the moonlight danced on the silver waters of a grand lake, there was a hidden kingdom known only to those with the purest of hearts. This kingdom, called Lumina, was a place of wonder where the trees glowed softly, and the flowers sang lullabies to the stars. Its ruler was Queen Seraphina, a kind and wise queen who possessed a magical moonstone that kept the kingdom bathed in eternal twilight. The kingdom's peace was threatened when the moonstone, which had been safeguarded for centuries, began to dim. The once brilliant light now flickered weakly. Queen Seraphina, worried about the kingdom's future, summoned her most trusted advisor, a wise old owl named Orin. Orin, the queen said, the moonstone's light is fading, and with it, the magic of Lumina is weakening. We must find the source of the problem before it's too late. Orin, with his deep knowledge of ancient lore, explained that the only way to restore the moonstone's power was to find the lost starlight crystal, which had been hidden long ago, to protect it from dark forces. To find the crystal, they would need to follow 3 clues left by the kingdom's founders. Queen Seraphina decided to seek the help of the bravest and kindest person she knew, a young girl named Arya who lived on the edge of the forest. Arya had always shown a deep love for the natural world and had an adventurous spirit. Arya agreed to help and set out on her quest with Orin guiding her. The first clue was hidden in the Whispering Woods, where the trees were said to hold secrets in their rustling leaves. The Whispering Woods and the Whispering Woods, the trees whispered directions and riddles. Arya listened carefully to the rustling leaves and followed the path they revealed. She soon came upon an ancient tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the trunk, she found an old parchment with a riddle, asterisk, in the valley where shadows fall, seek the light that never dies. Only then will you find the way to the crystal's hidden guise. Asterisk. Arya and Orin interpreted the riddle to mean that they needed to go to a valley where a perpetual shadow was cast by an eternal mountain. The Valley of Eternal Shadows. They traveled to the Valley of Eternal Shadows, where the towering mountain cast a permanent shade. At the valley's heart was a small, hidden cave. Inside, they discovered a glowing orb resting on a pedestal. The orb was known as the Eternal Light, and it provided them with the next clue, asterisk, when the moon's tears are seen, find the mirror that reflects the unseen. There lies the path to the crystal, hidden where dreams are woven. Asterisk. The mirror of dreams. Following the clue, Arya and Orin journeyed to the Dreamweaver's Glen, a place known for its magical mirrors that could reflect not just appearances but also hidden truths. They searched among the mirrors and found one that showed a vision of a moonlit lake, where the starlight crystal was said to be hidden. The vision guided them to a tranquil lake, with the moonlight casting an enchanting glow over the water. At the lake's center was a small island, and on it stood a solitary, ancient pedestal. As Arya and Orin approached the pedestal, they saw the starlight crystal resting upon it, glowing softly but not as brightly as it should. They realized that the crystal's light needed to be rekindled by the moonstone's power. Arya took out the moonstone from her pouch and held it up. The crystal's light and the moonstone's light began to intertwine, merging and growing brighter. The lake shimmered with renewed magic, and the kingdom of Lumina began to glow once more. Returned to Lumina with the starlight crystal restored, Arya and Orin returned to Lumina. Queen Seraphina welcomed them with immense gratitude. She placed the crystal beside the moonstone, and its light became radiant again, filling the kingdom with a warm, magical glow. The kingdom's magic was revitalized, and the once fading moonstone now shone brighter than ever. The trees, flowers, and waters of Lumina sparkled with renewed life. The kingdom celebrated Arya's bravery and kindness, and she was honored as a hero of Lumina. Arya returned to her home with a heart full of joy and the knowledge that even the smallest light can make a great difference. The story of her quest became a cherished tale in Lumina, a reminder of the power of courage, friendship, and the magic that can be found in every heart. And so, under the shimmering light of the moon and the starlight crystal, Lumina continued to thrive, its magic and beauty preserved for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a dense and magical forest, there lived a tiny firefly named Flicker. Flicker was the smallest of all the fireflies, with a light that was barely brighter than a candle's flame. Despite her small size, Flicker had the biggest dreams. She wanted to light up the entire forest, just like the moon did every night. But whenever she shared her dream with the other fireflies, they would laugh and say, "Flicker, you're too small. You'll never be able to light up the whole forest. Just stay here and light up your little corner." Flicker tried to believe them, but deep down, she couldn't give up on her dream. She wanted to be more than just a tiny light in the corner of the forest. She wanted to make a difference. One night, Flicker decided to go on a journey to find someone who could help her make her dream come true. She flew through the forest, her little light flickering bravely as she passed tall trees and quiet streams. Eventually, she came to the oldest and wisest tree in the forest, a giant oak that had stood for centuries. The giant oak had seen many things in its long life and was known for giving advice to the creatures of the forest. Flicker landed on one of its thick branches and looked up at the towering tree. "Great oak," Flicker began, her tiny voice trembling with hope, "I want to light up the entire forest. But everyone says I'm too small. Is there any way I can make my dream come true?" The giant oak rustled its leaves gently, as if thinking carefully. "Little Flicker," the oak said in a deep, soothing voice, "your light may be small, but it is unique and special. However, to light up the entire forest, you cannot do it alone. You must find others who share your dream." Flicker thought about the oak's words. "But how can I find others who want to help me? No one seems to believe in my dream." The giant oak swayed its branches, and a few leaves floated down, glistening in the moonlight. "There is magic in unity, little firefly. If you can inspire others with your dream, they will join you. Start by sharing your light and your dream with those around you. You may be surprised by how many will follow." Encouraged by the oak's wisdom, Flicker thanked the tree and flew back into the forest. She decided to start with the creatures who were often overlooked, just like her. First, she visited the tiny spiders who spun their webs in the corners of the forest. The spiders were shy and didn't often speak to others, but Flicker bravely approached them. "Hello, spiders," Flicker said softly. "I have a dream to light up the entire forest. I know my light is small, but if we all work together, we can create something beautiful. Will you help me?" The spiders looked at one another, surprised that someone was speaking to them so kindly. They admired Flicker's determination and agreed to help. "We can spin threads of silk to reflect your light," the spiders said. "Together, we can make your light shine even brighter." Next, Flicker flew to the quiet pond where the frogs lived. The frogs were known for their songs, but they rarely ventured out of the water at night. Flicker landed on a lily pad and spoke to them. "Hello, frogs," Flicker said with a smile. "I want to light up the entire forest. I know it's a big dream, but with your voices, we can call others to join us. Will you help me?" The frogs croaked thoughtfully and then nodded. "We'll sing our loudest songs to spread the word. With your light and our voices, we'll gather the forest creatures." With the help of the spiders and the frogs, Flicker's light began to grow. The spiders wove intricate webs that caught and reflected Flicker's glow, making it sparkle like 1,000 tiny stars. The frogs sang their loudest songs, calling out to the creatures of the forest to come and see the light. One by one, the other animals began to gather. The rabbits, mice, and squirrels, who were usually timid and stayed hidden at night, came out to see what was happening. The birds, who often slept in the treetops, woke up and flew down to join the gathering. Flicker, now surrounded by the creatures of the forest, felt her light growing stronger. She was no longer alone, her dream had inspired others, and together, they were creating something truly magical. The animals, each in their own way, added to the growing light. The rabbits found shiny stones to place around the forest, reflecting Flicker's glow even further. The squirrels collected dewdrops from the leaves, which sparkled like diamonds in the light. The birds flapped their wings gently, creating a breeze that made the light dance through the trees. As more and more creatures joined in, the entire forest began to glow with a warm, golden light. It was a light unlike any the forest had ever seen before, soft yet brilliant, gentle yet powerful. The light reached every corner of the forest, illuminating even the darkest shadows. Flicker looked around in amazement. She had never imagined that her small light could grow into something so magnificent. The forest was alive with light and joy, and all the creatures were united in a common goal. The giant oak, watching from its ancient perch, smiled at the sight. The wisdom of its age had proven true once again. The greatest magic comes from unity and the belief in one's dreams. From that night on, the forest creatures came together regularly to create the magical light. And Flicker, the little firefly with the big dream, was no longer known as the smallest of all the fireflies. She was known as the firefly with the heart of 1,000 stars. And so, the forest was never dark again, for Flicker's light, along with the light of her friends, shone brightly and beautifully, reminding everyone that even the smallest light can make the biggest difference when shared with others. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the hills were forever green and the river sparkled like diamonds, there was a quaint village called Willowbrook. Willowbrook was a place of great harmony and charm, known for its serene meadows and vibrant gardens. At the heart of this village stood a grand old oak tree, beneath which sat an ornate wooden lantern. The lantern, known as the Enchanted Lantern, was a cherished village treasure. It had been passed down through generations, and it was said that it had the power to grant a single wish to anyone who could solve its mysterious riddle. However, the lantern had remained unlit for decades, and many had tried and failed to unlock its magic. In this village lived a spirited and kind-hearted girl named Elara. She had always been fascinated by the lantern and the tales surrounding it. Despite her young age, Elara was known for her wisdom and courage, and she often helped her neighbors with their troubles. One chilly autumn evening, as the leaves danced in the wind and the first stars appeared in the sky, Elara decided it was time to seek the lantern's magic. The village was facing a harsh winter, and the fields were barren. Elara believed that if she could unlock the lantern's magic, she could make a wish to bring prosperity back to Willowbrook. With a heart full of hope and a small pouch of essentials, Elara approached the enchanted lantern. The lantern's surface was adorned with intricate carvings of celestial symbols, and its soft glow illuminated the old oak's gnarled roots. Elara took a deep breath and read the inscription carved into the lantern: "To awaken the magic and see the light, solve the riddle that shines so bright. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle, her mind racing through the possibilities. She thought of the nature of the lantern and the things that were important to her village. After a moment of contemplation, she whispered, "A flame." As Elara spoke the answer, the lantern's carvings began to glow with a warm, golden light. The lantern flickered and then shone brightly, casting a radiant beam across the village. The light spread over the fields and gardens, bringing them to life with a burst of vibrant colors. Elara watched in awe as the barren fields transformed into lush, green pastures, and the gardens bloomed with an abundance of flowers and vegetables. The villagers, who had gathered to see what the light was, marveled at the miraculous change. They rejoiced and celebrated the return of prosperity to their village. As the lantern's light dimmed, a gentle, ethereal voice spoke from within it, "Elara, you have unlocked the magic with your wisdom and kindness. Your wish for the village has been granted. Remember, the true magic lies within the hearts of those who care for others." Elara smiled and thanked the lantern, knowing that the magic had always been a part of the village's spirit. She shared her newfound joy with her neighbors, who worked together to harvest the abundant crops and prepare for the coming winter. The enchanted lantern was placed back beneath the old oak tree, its glow now a symbol of hope and unity. Elara's bravery and selflessness became a cherished story in Willowbrook, inspiring generations to come. From that day on, the village thrived with prosperity and harmony. The fields were always green, and the gardens were forever blooming, thanks to the magic of the enchanted lantern and the kindness of a young girl who believed in the power of her wish. And so, under the watchful gaze of the old oak tree and the soft glow of the enchanted lantern, Willowbrook flourished, and Elara's story was told with pride and joy, a testament to the magic of wisdom and compassion. Once upon a time, in the heart of a lush and vibrant forest, there was a small village named Greendale. The village was known for its enchanting beauty, with blooming flowers, towering trees, and a river that sang melodies as it flowed. The villagers were kind-hearted and lived in harmony with nature, guided by the wisdom of their beloved elder, Aemon. In this village lived a curious and spirited girl named Elara. Elara had a head full of dreams and a heart filled with wonder. She spent her days exploring the forest, befriending animals, and listening to Aemon's tales of magic and adventure. Her greatest dream was to find the legendary Crystal of Light, a gem said to possess the power to bring eternal peace and prosperity to Greendale. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Elara approached Aemon with a question that had been burning in her heart. "Aemon, do you believe the Crystal of Light truly exists?" she asked, her eyes wide with hope. Aemon, with his long white beard and gentle smile, nodded. "Indeed, Elara. The Crystal of Light is real, but it is hidden deep within the Whispering Woods, guarded by ancient magic and creatures. Only the purest of heart can find it." Determined to help her village, Elara decided to embark on a journey to find the Crystal of Light. Early the next morning, she set off into the forest with nothing but a small satchel of provisions and her unwavering spirit. As Elara ventured deeper into the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to close in around her, their leaves whispering secrets and shadows dancing in the dappled sunlight. She followed a narrow path, guided by a sense of destiny. Along the way, she encountered various creatures, wise owls, playful squirrels, and even a mischievous fox who tried to lead her astray. After days of traveling, Elara came upon a shimmering lake, its surface reflecting the stars that had begun to appear in the twilight sky. At the center of the lake stood a small island, bathed in a soft, otherworldly glow. Elara knew that this must be where the Crystal of Light was hidden. But as she approached the lake, a figure emerged from the water, a beautiful water nymph with flowing hair and eyes like sapphires. "Who dares to seek the Crystal of Light?" the nymph asked, her voice as smooth as the lake's surface. "It is I, Elara of Greendale," Elara replied, her voice steady despite her awe. "I seek the crystal to bring peace and prosperity to my village." The nymph's gaze softened. "To claim the crystal, you must prove your purity of heart. You must complete 3 tasks, each more challenging than the last." Elara nodded, ready for the challenge. "For your first task," the nymph said, "you must retrieve the feather of truth from the wise owl who lives in the tallest tree in the forest." Elara set off immediately, her determination unwavering. She climbed the tallest tree, its branches reaching high into the sky, and found the wise owl perched at the very top. "Wise owl," she called, "I seek the feather of truth. Will you grant it to me?" The owl blinked its large eyes and studied Elara. "To receive the feather of truth, you must answer a riddle. What is the one thing that can never be stolen but is freely given?" Elara thought for a moment, then replied, "Love. It can never be stolen but is freely given from the heart." The owl nodded in approval and handed her a single, luminous feather. Elara thanked the owl and carefully tucked the feather into her satchel. When Elara returned to the lake, the nymph appeared once more. "You have completed the first task. For the second, you must bring me the tear of joy from the Laughing Brook." Elara followed the sound of laughter through the forest until she reached the Laughing Brook, a stream that giggled and bubbled over rocks and pebbles. She sat by the brook, recalling the happiest moments of her life, playing with friends, the kindness of her parents, and the wisdom of Aemon. As she smiled, a single tear of pure joy fell from her eye and into the brook. The water shimmered and a tiny vial appeared, filled with the tear of joy. With the vial in hand, Elara returned to the lake. The nymph smiled warmly. "You have completed the second task. For the final task, you must light the beacon of hope at the top of Mount Radiance." The climb to Mount Radiance was steep and arduous, but Elara pressed on, driven by her love for Greendale. As she reached the summit, she found a great torch, unlit and cold. She closed her eyes, focusing on the love and hope she carried within her. To her amazement, the torch ignited with a brilliant flame, casting a warm glow over the land. Elara hurried back to the lake, where the nymph awaited her. "You have proven your purity of heart," the nymph said, her voice filled with admiration. "The Crystal of Light is yours. With a wave of her hand, the nymph revealed a crystal, radiant and pulsating with light. Elara took it reverently, feeling its warmth and power. She thanked the nymph and made her way back to Greendale. When Elara returned to her village, the crystal of light in hand, the villagers gathered in awe. As she placed the crystal in the center of the village, a brilliant light enveloped Greendale, bringing peace, prosperity, and eternal harmony. From that day on, Greendale flourished like never before. Elara's bravery and pure heart became legendary, inspiring generations to come. And so, the kingdom of Greendale lived happily ever after, under the watchful glow of the crystal of light. In a peaceful valley surrounded by majestic mountains, there lay a quaint village called Lumina. Lumina was known for its extraordinary beauty and its people who were gifted musicians. At the heart of the village lived a young girl named Elara, who was renowned for her enchanting singing voice. Each night, as the moon rose high in the sky, Elara's songs would drift through the village, bringing joy and serenity to all who heard them. One evening, as Elara sang under the moonlight, a strange thing happened. The moon began to flicker and dim, casting an eerie shadow over Lumina. The villagers gathered in the square, worried and confused. Without the moon's light, their music seemed to lose its magic, and a sense of sadness fell over the once cheerful village. The village elder, a wise woman named Celeste, approached Elara with a grave expression. Elara, it seems that the moonlight melody, a mystical force that has always kept our village in harmony, has been disrupted. The only way to restore it is to find the moonlit crystal, which has been lost for centuries. Elara, with her heart full of determination, agreed to find the moonlit crystal. She knew that it was said to be hidden in the enchanted forest, a place known for its magical and mysterious qualities. Armed with her courage and a small silver flute that had been passed down through generations, she set off on her quest, accompanied by her loyal companion, a wise old owl named Orion. The enchanted forest was a place of wonder, where trees seemed to whisper secrets and flowers glowed with a soft light. As Elara and Orion ventured deeper into the forest, they encountered a mischievous sprite named Willow, who offered to guide them, but only if they could solve a riddle. Willow fluttered around them and chimed, "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Elara thought for a moment and replied, "An echo." Pleased with the answer, Willow agreed to lead them to the next part of their journey. They traveled through the forest, passing sparkling streams and towering trees, until they reached a grove where the moonlit crystal was said to be hidden. The moonlit grove in the center of the grove stood a magnificent tree with branches that seemed to touch the sky. At its base was a large, ancient stone with intricate carvings. According to legend, the moonlit crystal was hidden within the stone, but it could only be revealed by a pure heart and a harmonious melody. Elara took out her silver flute and began to play a soft, melodic tune. The notes floated through the grove, intertwining with the natural sounds of the forest. As she played, the carvings on the stone began to glow, and the stone itself started to shift and move. The moonlit crystal, a radiant gem that shimmered with the light of the moon, emerged from within the stone. Elara gently picked it up, feeling its warmth and magic. The return to Lumina with the moonlit crystal in hand, Elara and Orion made their way back to Lumina. As they approached the village, they noticed that the moonlight was still dim and the villagers were still forlorn. Elara placed the moonlit crystal in the center of the village square and began to play a melody on her flute, with the crystal's light amplifying the magic of her music. The crystal's glow grew brighter and brighter, and soon, the moon began to shine again, casting a beautiful, silvery light over the village. The villagers, seeing the moon's light return, gathered around Elara, their spirits lifted by the enchanting melody. As Elara sang, her voice blending with the magical light of the moonlit crystal, the village was filled with a sense of peace and joy. The music resonated with the hearts of the people, and the moonlight melody was restored to its full splendor. Queen Celeste approached Elara and thanked her for her bravery and her gift of music. She declared that Elara's song would be celebrated every year on the night of the full moon, to remind everyone of the harmony between the moon and the music that bound their village together. a lasting legacy. Alara continued to sing and play her flute, her melodies bringing joy and light to Lumina. The moonlit crystal was placed in a special alcove in the village square, where its light would always remind the villagers of the importance of harmony, both in music and in life. And so, under the moon's gentle glow and the magical music of Alara, the village of Lumina thrived once more. The moonlight shone brightly, and the melodies of the villagers filled the valley with happiness and peace. Alara's tale became a cherished story passed down through generations, a testament to the power of music, bravery, and the enduring magic of the moon. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village called Celestia, nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a young girl named Mira. Celestia was renowned for its breathtaking night skies, where stars seemed to dance and twinkle like a sea of diamonds. Every evening, the villagers would gather to gaze at the stars and tell tales of magical constellations. Mira had always been fascinated by the stars, but there was one story that captivated her more than any other, the tale of the Starlight Lantern. According to legend, the lantern was an ancient artifact that could capture the light of the stars and grant a single wish to the one who found it. However, the lantern had been lost for centuries, and no one knew where it lay. One crisp, clear night, as Mira lay in her bed, she gazed out of her window and saw a shooting star streak across the sky. She closed her eyes and made a heartfelt wish, "I wish to find the Starlight Lantern and bring its magic to Celestia." The next morning, Mira woke with a sense of determination. She decided that she would set out on a quest to find the legendary lantern. Armed with a map of the constellations and a sturdy backpack, she ventured into the forest that bordered the village. The forest was filled with enchanting sounds, the rustle of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the gentle flow of a nearby stream. Mira followed the map, which led her through a series of trails and pathways marked by star-shaped stones. As she walked, Mira encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. The owl's feathers were speckled with patterns that resembled the night sky. "Greetings, young Mira," the owl hooted softly. "I have heard of your quest. To find the Starlight Lantern, you must complete 3 trials that test your heart, your courage, and your wisdom." Mira nodded, ready to take on the challenges. "What are the trials?" The owl explained the first trial: you must cross the River of Reflections, where the water shows not only your face but your true self. Only those who are honest and true can cross safely. Mira approached the river, its surface shimmering like a mirror. As she stepped onto the stepping stones, the water revealed her deepest fears and insecurities. But Mira looked into her own reflection with bravery and accepted her true self. The water calmed, and the path across the river became clear. The second trial was to climb the Mountain of Echoes, where Mira had to listen to the echoes of her own voice and find the correct path. As she climbed, the echoes called out her doubts and fears. Mira focused on her inner strength, and by following her heart's guidance, she reached the summit. At the top of the mountain, she found a small, glowing crystal embedded in the rock. The crystal, once touched, revealed a hidden path that led to the final trial. The final trial was to solve a riddle posed by a shimmering, star-like creature that floated gently above the ground. The creature's voice was like a melodious chime as it asked, "I have 1,000 faces, but only one light. I can guide you through darkness, but I cannot shine on my own. What am I?" Mira pondered the riddle and then answered confidently, "The moon." The star-like creature twinkled with approval and pointed towards a hidden grove surrounded by luminous flowers. In the center of the grove stood an ornate pedestal with the Starlight Lantern resting atop it. The lantern was beautiful, adorned with celestial patterns and glowing softly with the light of the stars. Mira approached the lantern with reverence. As she held it, the lantern's light grew brighter, filling the grove with a warm, magical glow. Mira made her wish, "I wish for the magic of the lantern to bring joy and light to the village of Celestia." The lantern's light soared into the sky, merging with the stars and showering the village with a gentle, sparkling light. The villagers gathered in awe as the lantern's magic filled their hearts with happiness and wonder. When Mira returned to Celestia, she was welcomed with cheers and celebrations. The village flourished under the lantern's magic, with every night being illuminated by a beautiful, starry glow that seemed to bring the constellations closer. Myra's bravery and kindness were celebrated, and the story of the Starlight Lantern became a cherished tale in Celestia. The lantern's magic continued to inspire the villagers to look up at the night sky with hope and wonder. And so, Celestia thrived in the light of the stars, and Myra's wish became a lasting legacy of magic and joy. Once upon a time, in the heart of a misty forest, there was a quaint village named Luminera. The village was known for its vibrant gardens and shimmering streams, but it had one unique treasure, a magical lantern that was said to light the way for anyone who was lost or in need. The lantern was housed in the village's oldest cottage, which belonged to an elderly woman named Grandma Esme. She was known throughout the land for her kindness and wisdom. The lantern was a family heirloom, passed down through generations, and its soft, golden glow was believed to have the power to reveal hidden truths and guide people through their darkest hours. One day, the village was visited by a young prince named Leo from the neighboring kingdom of Eldoria. He had heard tales of the enchanted lantern and was intrigued by its magic. The prince was on a quest to find a rare and precious flower known as the moon blossom, which only bloomed once every 100 years under the light of the full moon. The moon blossom had the power to cure his kingdom's ailing land. Grandma Esme welcomed Prince Leo warmly and listened to his tale. "The moon blossom is indeed a rare flower," she said, "and its blooming is a sight to behold. However, finding it requires more than just luck. It requires a heart that is pure and intentions that are true." The prince, determined to help his kingdom, asked Grandma Esme if she would lend him the enchanted lantern to aid in his quest. She agreed, but only if Leo promised to return it once his mission was complete, for the lantern held great significance to her family. With the lantern in hand, Prince Leo set out into the forest under the light of the full moon. The lantern's warm glow guided his path through the tangled woods and winding streams. As he ventured deeper, he encountered various challenges: swift rivers, steep cliffs, and dense thickets. Yet, the lantern's light always found a way to show him the safest path forward. During his journey, Leo came across a small, mysterious creature, a talking fox named Finn. Finn had a coat of shimmering silver and eyes that sparkled with curiosity. "Why are you traveling so far into the forest?" Finn asked. "I am searching for the moon blossom," Prince Leo explained. "It is said to bloom only under the full moon, and I need it to save my kingdom." Finn's eyes widened with understanding. "I know where the moon blossom blooms, but it's a dangerous path. The lantern's light will help you, but you must also have a brave heart and a clear mind." Grateful for Finn's help, Leo followed him through the forest. The two of them faced many trials, from crossing rickety bridges to outsmarting mischievous sprites. With the lantern's guidance and Finn's assistance, they finally reached a secluded glade bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glade was a majestic flower, the moon blossom. Its petals glowed with an ethereal light, and its fragrance filled the air with a sense of peace and hope. Prince Leo carefully collected the moon blossom and thanked Finn for his guidance. As he turned to leave, he noticed that the lantern's light was growing dim. The enchantment that had guided him was fading, and the path back seemed uncertain. Leo realized that he needed to return the lantern to Grandma Esme, as promised. With the moon blossom secured, Leo made his way back to the village. The journey was still challenging, but the memories of his adventure and his commitment to his kingdom's welfare kept him steady. Upon returning the lantern to Grandma Esme, he presented her with the moon blossom. "You have fulfilled your promise," Grandma Esme said, smiling. "And you have shown great courage and purity of heart. The lantern will continue to guide those in need, and the moon blossom will heal your kingdom." Prince Leo returned to Eldoria, where the moon blossom was used to restore the land to its former glory. His kingdom thrived once more, and he was celebrated as a hero. He often thought fondly of the enchanted lantern in the village of Luminera, where his journey had begun. The lantern remained in Grandma Esme's cottage, its light still shining brightly for those who sought guidance. The story of Prince Leo and the enchanted lantern became a beloved legend in Luminera, reminding everyone of the power of bravery, kindness, and the magic of a guiding light. And so, the village of Luminera continued to glow with the light of hope and adventure, ever ready to illuminate the path for those who ventured into the forest in search of their own dreams. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom where the sky shimmered with countless stars every night, there was a small village named Starlight. The villagers of Starlight were known for their wisdom and their deep connection to the night sky, which they believed was filled with magic and wonder. In this village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn had always been fascinated by the stars. Every evening, he would lie on the grass and gaze up at the night sky, dreaming of adventures beyond the village. One evening, as Finn was stargazing, he noticed a single star that seemed to shine brighter than the others. It twinkled with a mesmerizing, golden light. Finn was so entranced by its brilliance that he lost track of time. Suddenly, the star began to descend slowly, landing gently in front of him. To Finn's astonishment, the star transformed into a tiny, radiant figure, a fairy with delicate wings that glowed like the night sky. She introduced herself as Lyra, the Star Fairy. "Greetings, Finn. I've come to seek your help," she said with a voice like a soft chime. Finn, wide-eyed with excitement, asked, "How can I help you, Lyra?" Lyra explained that she was on a quest to find the Starry Compass, a magical artifact that had been lost for centuries. The Starry Compass was said to have the power to guide anyone to their heart's desire. It was hidden in a mystical land beyond the forest, protected by enchanted creatures and magical puzzles. "I need someone with a pure heart and a brave spirit to help me find it," Lyra said. "Will you join me on this quest?" Finn, eager for an adventure, agreed without hesitation. Lyra sprinkled some stardust over Finn, and they set off on their journey. Their first challenge was to cross the Whispering River, which was known for its mysterious currents and enchanted creatures. As they reached the riverbank, a group of playful water sprites appeared, their laughter echoing through the forest. "Welcome to the Whispering River," said one sprite. "To cross, you must solve our riddle. Answer correctly, and the path will be revealed." Lyra and Finn listened carefully as the sprite spoke the riddle. "I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I?" Finn thought hard, and then his eyes lit up with realization. "A map," he exclaimed. The sprites cheered, and a shimmering bridge made of moonlight appeared across the river. Finn and Lyra crossed safely to the other side. Their next challenge took them to the Forest of Echoes, a magical forest where every sound was repeated by the trees. In the center of the forest stood a grand oak tree with a door carved into its trunk. The door was locked with a combination of melodies. Lyra whispered, "We must play the right tune to open the door. Listen to the echoes and follow their melody." Finn listened carefully to the repeating echoes of the forest. He remembered the lullabies his grandmother used to sing and began humming a gentle tune. The echoes harmonized with his melody, and the grand oak tree's door slowly creaked open. Inside the oak tree, they found a golden chest with intricate designs. Finn opened the chest, revealing a shimmering star-shaped key, the key to the Starry Compass. Lyra's eyes sparkled with joy. "The Starry Compass must be hidden in the Celestial Caves," Lyra explained. "We're almost there." With the star-shaped key in hand, Finn and Lyra made their way to the Celestial Caves, which were illuminated by the soft glow of countless crystals. Inside the caves, they faced one final test, a labyrinth of mirrors that reflected light in every direction. To find their way, they had to use the star-shaped key to align the mirrors and create a beam of light that would guide them to the hidden chamber. After some effort, Finn and Lyra succeeded in aligning the mirrors. The beam of light revealed a hidden passage leading to a small, enchanting chamber. In the center of the chamber stood the Starry Compass, glowing with a warm, golden light. Lyra and Finn approached the compass. As they touched it, the compass spun gently and then pointed towards a distant part of the sky. The compass's glow brightened, filling the chamber with a soft, comforting light. "You have done it, Finn!" Lyra exclaimed. "The Starry Compass is now in our hands. With this, we can guide people to their heart's desires and bring hope and joy to the world." Lyra thanked Finn for his bravery and kind heart. As a token of gratitude, she gifted him a small star-shaped pendant that would always remind him of their adventure. As Finn returned to Starlight, the village was abuzz with excitement about his journey. He shared his tale, and the villagers celebrated the return of the Starry Compass. From that day on, Finn was known as the boy who helped find the Starry Compass. The compass's magic brought prosperity and hope to the kingdom, and Finn's bravery became a cherished story passed down through generations. And every night, when Finn looked up at the stars, he felt a special connection to the magical adventure he had experienced and the fairy who had guided him on his journey. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Harmonia, there was a charming village named Melody Springs. Known for its beautiful music and skilled musicians, Melody Springs was a place where harmony reigned supreme. Among its residents was a young girl named Lila, who had a voice so enchanting that it could make the flowers bloom and the birds sing along. Lila lived with her parents in a cozy cottage on the edge of the village. Her mother was a renowned harpist, and her father was a master violinist. They often played together, filling their home with the sweetest melodies. Lila loved singing along, and her dream was to find the legendary enchanted harp, a magical instrument said to produce music so beautiful it could heal any ailment and bring peace to troubled hearts. One fateful day, a terrible storm struck the village, bringing sickness and despair. The once cheerful tunes of Melody Springs were replaced by the sounds of coughing and crying. Lila's parents fell ill, and despite her best efforts to care for them, they grew weaker each day. Desperate to save her parents and restore joy to her village, Lila decided to search for the enchanted harp. The legend of the enchanted harp told of its resting place deep within the Whispering Woods, guarded by mythical creatures and protected by powerful spells. With a heart full of determination and a small bag of provisions, Lila set off on her quest at dawn. As she entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to whisper secrets and warnings. The path was unclear, and the shadows played tricks on her eyes. Suddenly, a majestic stag with antlers like silver branches appeared before her. "Why do you venture into these woods, young one?" the stag asked. "I seek the enchanted harp to heal my parents and bring happiness back to my village," Lila replied. The stag looked at her with gentle eyes. "Your intentions are noble. I will guide you to the Forest of Echoes, where the guardian of the harp resides. But beware, the path is fraught with challenges that will test your heart." Grateful for the stag's help, Lila followed him through the dense forest. They crossed sparkling streams and climbed rocky hills, and as they walked, the stag told Lila stories of the forest and its magic. After a long journey, they arrived at the Forest of Echoes, a mystical place where every sound seemed to linger and repeat. In the center of the forest stood a grand tree with golden leaves, and at its base lay the enchanted harp, glowing softly with an ethereal light. But between Lila and the harp was a fierce griffin, its wings spread wide and its eyes blazing. "Who dares to approach the enchanted harp?" the griffin roared. "It is I, Lila of Melody Springs," she said, stepping forward bravely. "I seek the harp to heal my parents and my village." The griffin studied her for a moment. "The harp is not for the faint of heart. To claim it, you must prove your worth by completing 3 tasks." Lila nodded, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. "First," the griffin said, "you must find the melody stone hidden within this forest. It emits a tune that only the pure of heart can hear." Lila closed her eyes and listened intently to the sounds around her. Focusing on her love for her parents and her village, she followed a faint, beautiful melody. After a long search, she found the melody stone beneath a bed of moss, its tune growing louder as she approached. The griffin nodded in approval. "Second, you must mend the broken lyre. It has been shattered for centuries, and only the hands of the kind-hearted can restore it." Lila gathered the pieces of the broken lyre scattered around the forest and began to piece them together. She sang softly as she worked, her voice guiding her hands. Slowly, the lyre came together, whole and beautiful once more. Finally, the griffin said, "You must sing a song that touches my heart, proving your intentions are true." Lila took a deep breath and began to sing a lullaby her mother used to sing to her. Her voice filled the forest, and even the trees seemed to lean in to listen. As she sang, the griffin's fierce expression softened, and tears glistened in its eyes. "You have proven yourself worthy, Lila," the griffin said. "The enchanted harp is yours." With reverence, Lila approached the harp and gently strummed its strings. A melody more beautiful than anything she had ever heard filled the air. She felt the harp's magic flow through her, and she knew it would heal her parents and bring joy back to Melody Springs. The stag led Lila safely back to her village, where she played the enchanted harp for her parents and the villagers. The harp's magic worked wonders, curing the sick and lifting everyone's spirits. Melody Springs was filled with music and laughter once more. Lila's parents embraced her, their eyes filled with pride and gratitude. "You have brought hope and happiness back to our lives, my brave daughter," her mother said. From that day on, Lila continued to play the enchanted harp, using its magic to help those in need. Her story spread far and wide, inspiring others to believe in the power of love, music, and courage. And so, the kingdom of Harmonia thrived, forever grateful to the brave girl who brought the magic of the enchanted harp into their lives. The end. Once upon a time, high up in the night sky, there lived a little star named Twinkle. Twinkle was different from all the other stars. While the others shone brightly and twinkled happily in the night sky, Twinkle couldn't shine at all. No matter how hard it tried, its light was faint, almost invisible. This made Twinkle feel very sad. The other stars tried to cheer Twinkle up. "Don't worry," said the big star, who was the leader of all the stars. "Everyone has their own time to shine. You just need to be patient." But Twinkle couldn't help feeling down. Every night, it would watch as the other stars lit up the sky, making it sparkle like a beautiful blanket of diamonds. Twinkle wanted so badly to be like them, but no matter how much it tried, its light remained dim. One night, a wise old moon noticed Twinkle sitting all alone, looking sad. "Why do you look so gloomy, little star?" asked the moon. Twinkle sighed. "I can't shine like the other stars. No one can see my light. I feel so useless." The wise old moon smiled kindly. "Just because your light isn't as bright as the others doesn't mean it's not important. Sometimes, the smallest lights are the most special." "But how?" Twinkle asked, puzzled. "Trust in yourself and keep shining, no matter how small your light may seem. You never know who might need it," the moon replied. Twinkle didn't fully understand the moon's words, but it decided to try. Every night, Twinkle would do its best to shine, even if it was just a tiny flicker of light. The other stars continued to sparkle and dance in the sky, but Twinkle remained hopeful, remembering what the moon had said. One night, as the stars filled the sky with their usual brilliance, something strange happened. A thick fog began to rise from the earth, slowly covering the sky. The fog was so dense that it swallowed up the light of the big stars. One by one, they disappeared behind the heavy mist, leaving the sky dark and lonely. Twinkle watched in fear as the fog crept closer. Soon, it would be hidden too. But then Twinkle remembered the moon's words. "Keep shining, no matter what," Twinkle whispered to itself. The fog wrapped around Twinkle, but it didn't stop shining. Even though its light was small, Twinkle refused to give up. It shone as brightly as it could, casting a tiny glow in the darkness. Down on Earth, a little girl named Lily was lost in the woods. She had wandered too far from her home and couldn't find her way back. The thick fog made everything look the same, and she was scared. But just when she thought she would never find her way, she saw a tiny light in the sky. It was Twinkle. Even though it was small, the light gave Lily hope. She followed the faint glow, trusting that it would lead her home. Twinkle kept shining, guiding Lily through the dark woods, past the trees and over the hills, until finally, she saw the lights of her village in the distance. Lily's heart filled with joy, and she ran home, safe and sound. She looked up at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, little star. You were my guiding light." As the fog began to lift, the other stars returned, shining as brightly as ever. But now, Twinkle wasn't sad anymore. It had found its purpose. Even though its light was small, it had helped someone in need. And that made Twinkle the happiest star in the sky. From that night on, Twinkle shone with pride. It didn't matter that it wasn't as bright as the others because Twinkle knew that even the smallest light could make a big difference. And whenever people looked up at the night sky, they could see Twinkle, shining bravely, a reminder that every light, no matter how small, has its own special place in the world. The end. The tale of the starlit bridge. In a serene kingdom surrounded by rolling meadows and shimmering lakes, there was a quaint village known for its peace and prosperity. But there was one mystery that intrigued everyone: the Starlit Bridge, a majestic bridge that spanned the grand river dividing the kingdom. Legend had it that the bridge was built by a celestial being and had the power to grant a single wish to those who crossed it under the light of the full moon. The Starlit Bridge was always bathed in a soft, glowing light that made it look like it was made of stars. But no one had ever been able to make a wish come true, and over time, the bridge had become a symbol of hope rather than fulfillment. In this village lived a brave and kind-hearted young woman named Alara. She was known for her beautiful voice and her love for helping others. Despite the many hardships the villagers faced, Alara always maintained a hopeful spirit, believing that the magic of the Starlit Bridge could one day be real. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Alara decided it was time to see if the legend was true. She carefully prepared a small pouch with a token of each person in the village: a piece of thread from a grandmother's quilt, a button from a child's coat, a feather from a farmer's hat, each item representing the hopes and dreams of her fellow villagers. With the pouch in hand and a heart full of hope, Alara made her way to the Starlit Bridge. As she stepped onto the bridge, the soft, starry glow seemed to welcome her. She walked slowly, taking in the shimmering beauty of the bridge and the reflection of the moonlight on the river below. At the center of the bridge, Alara paused and took out the pouch. She closed her eyes and whispered her wish. "I wish for the well-being and happiness of my village. May their dreams come true and may they find the prosperity they deserve." As Alara finished her wish, the bridge's light grew brighter, and a gentle breeze carried the starry glow across the river. The water began to shimmer with a radiant light, and the stars in the sky seemed to dance in harmony with the moon's reflection. Suddenly, a figure appeared before her, a graceful being with shimmering wings and a gown made of stardust. It was the celestial guardian of the Starlit Bridge. The guardian smiled warmly at Alara. "Your wish has been heard, dear child," the guardian said with a voice as gentle as the night breeze. "You have given your heart selflessly for the sake of others. Because of your pure spirit, I will grant the wish you have made." The guardian reached out and touched the pouch of tokens. As she did, the items glowed with a magical light. The stars in the sky aligned to form a beautiful constellation that seemed to bless the village with a warm, golden light. "The magic of the Starlit Bridge is not just in the wishing but in the selflessness and love you have shown," the guardian continued. "Your village will soon find the happiness and prosperity they seek." With a wave of her hand, the celestial guardian faded into the night sky, leaving Alara with a heart full of joy and hope. As she walked back to the village, she saw the first signs of change. The fields were beginning to bloom with vibrant colors, the villagers were smiling and working together, and a sense of prosperity was in the air. Alara's wish had indeed come true. The village thrived, and the Starlit Bridge became a cherished symbol of the power of selflessness and hope. The villagers celebrated with a grand feast and a festival under the stars, honoring Alara's courage and the magic of the bridge. From that day on, the story of Alara and the Starlit Bridge was told and retold, reminding everyone that the true magic of the world lies in the kindness and love we share with others. And as the stars continued to shine brightly over the bridge, the village lived in harmony and happiness, forever touched by the enchanting tale of the Starlit Bridge. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. The Whispering Fountain. Once upon a time, in a land of rolling hills and enchanted forests, there was a small village known for its vibrant gardens and bustling marketplace. Despite its charm, the village was plagued by a mystery. The Whispering Fountain in the center of the village square had gone silent. Once, it was said to grant wishes to those who listened carefully to its murmurs, but now it was just an ordinary fountain. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Clara, who loved to help others and had a special fondness for the Whispering Fountain. She remembered the stories her grandmother used to tell about the fountain's magic and wished she could restore its voice. One day, Clara decided to embark on a quest to discover the reason behind the fountain's silence and restore its magic. She packed a small satchel with essentials and set off towards the heart of the forest, where the village elders said the magic of the fountain originated. As Clara ventured into the forest, she followed a narrow, winding path lined with ancient trees whose branches whispered secrets to each other. The forest was alive with the sounds of chirping birds and rustling leaves. Clara listened carefully to the whispers, hoping they would guide her. After a few hours, Clara came across a beautiful, shimmering pool nestled among a grove of silver birch trees. In the center of the pool was a stone pedestal with a delicate, crystal vial resting upon it. The vial was filled with a liquid that sparkled like stardust. A wise old owl perched on a nearby branch noticed Clara and said, "Welcome, young traveler. I see you seek the magic of the Whispering Fountain." Clara nodded eagerly. "Yes, I wish to restore the fountain's voice. Can you help me?" The owl blinked its golden eyes and replied, "This vial contains the essence of echoes, a magical liquid that can restore the fountain's voice. However, it must be combined with a song of pure heart and kindness. Only then will the fountain regain its magic." Clara's heart swelled with determination. "I will sing a song of kindness and hope." With the vial in hand, Clara made her way back to the village. She carefully poured the essence of echoes into the fountain's basin. As she did, she began to sing a gentle melody, one that spoke of love, joy, and the beauty of helping others. Her voice was soft and sweet, and the villagers gathered around, enchanted by the song. As Clara sang, the fountain's waters began to shimmer and bubble. Slowly, the whispers returned, growing louder and more vibrant. The once silent fountain now hummed with life, its water sparkling like diamonds in the sunlight. The villagers watched in awe as the fountain's magic was restored. The water rose gracefully, forming shapes of flowers, stars, and gentle creatures that danced in the air. The fountain's voice, soft and melodious, spoke words of encouragement and hope to all who listened. "You have restored the magic of the Whispering Fountain," the fountain's voice echoed. "May its whispers guide and bless all who seek its wisdom." The village erupted in joy and celebration. The fountain became a symbol of hope and unity, and its whispers served as a reminder of the kindness and love that had brought its magic back. Clara was hailed as a heroine, and her song became a cherished part of village lore. As the days went by, Clara continued to help others and spread kindness throughout the village. The Whispering Fountain remained a source of inspiration and wonder, and its magic touched the lives of all who visited it. And so, Clara's tale became a beloved story, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the purity of the heart and the power of selfless acts. The village thrived, and the Whispering Fountain's voice continued to echo through the years, a testament to the enduring power of kindness and hope. And they all lived happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed this fairy tale. Once upon a time, in the heart of the Whispering Woods, there was a mystical kingdom called Lumina. Lumina was known for its breathtaking beauty, with sparkling lakes, lush meadows, and an ancient forest that shimmered under the light of the moon. At the center of this enchanted forest was the Crystal Glade, where a legendary flower called the Sapphire Bloom grew only once every century. The Sapphire Bloom was said to have the power to grant a single wish to anyone who possessed it. In the village of Lumina lived a brave young girl named Eloan. She had heard many tales of the Sapphire Bloom and its magical powers. Her grandmother had once told her that the flower's magic could help her village, which was currently suffering from a terrible drought. Determined to help her people, Eloan decided to embark on a quest to find the Sapphire Bloom. Accompanied by her loyal companion, a clever fox named Sable, she set off towards the Crystal Glade. As Eloan and Sable ventured through the Whispering Woods, they encountered their first challenge, a wide, treacherous river that blocked their path. The river was known to be guarded by a wise old turtle named Tiberius. Tiberius appeared from the water, his shell adorned with ancient runes. To cross this river, Tiberius said, "You must answer a riddle. I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Iloan thought for a moment and then replied, "A cloud." The old turtle nodded approvingly and created a magical bridge of shimmering mist that allowed Iloan and Sable to cross the river safely. Continuing their journey, they reached a dense part of the forest where the trees were enchanted to move and change their positions. The path seemed to twist and turn, leading them in circles. Iloan felt a pang of frustration but remembered a lesson from her grandmother about staying calm and observing her surroundings. She noticed that the trees were aligning themselves with the position of the sun and the moon. By carefully following the alignment, Iloan and Sable found their way through the shifting forest and arrived at the edge of the crystal glade. At the entrance of the glade stood a grand, ancient gate made of intertwined vines and flowers. The gate was guarded by a magnificent dragon named Aurelian. Aurelian's scales shimmered like molten gold, and his eyes were like fiery embers. "You have come seeking the sapphire bloom," Aurelian said in a deep, resonant voice. "But to obtain it, you must prove your heart's true intention. Show me why you deserve to receive the flower." Iloan took a deep breath and spoke with sincerity. "I seek the sapphire bloom to save my village from the drought. My people are suffering, and I wish to restore their land to its former beauty. I believe that with the flower's magic, I can bring hope and life back to my home." Aurelian's gaze softened, and he could see the purity of Iloan's heart. "Your intentions are noble," the dragon said. "You have proven your worthiness. The sapphire bloom is within the glade, but be warned, it is protected by a powerful enchantment." Iloan and Sable entered the glade, which was bathed in an otherworldly light. At its center was the sapphire bloom, its petals glowing like liquid starlight. As Iloan approached the flower, a swirling mist rose around it, creating a labyrinth of illusions. Determined, Iloan focused on the true beauty of the sapphire bloom and her purpose for seeking it. She closed her eyes and envisioned the thriving village she wished to help. As she did so, the mist began to dissipate, and the path to the flower became clear. With great care, Iloan picked the sapphire bloom and felt its warmth in her hands. She thanked Aurelian for his guidance and began her journey back to her village. When Iloan returned to Lumina, the villagers greeted her with joy and relief. She placed the sapphire bloom in the center of the village square, and as its magic was unleashed, the land began to transform. Rain clouds gathered and gentle rain fell, nourishing the parched earth. The once dry fields turned green, and flowers bloomed in vibrant colors. The villagers celebrated with a grand feast, honoring Iloan's bravery and selflessness. The sapphire bloom's magic had not only saved their village, but also brought them closer together. Iloan's tale became a cherished legend in Lumina, a reminder of the power of determination, kindness, and the magic that can be found when one follows their heart. The kingdom of Lumina thrived under the light of the sapphire bloom, living happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there was an enchanted forest. This forest was unlike any other, for it was filled with magical creatures and plants that shimmered with an ethereal glow. The heart of the forest was home to an ancient and wise tree named Elderwood. Elderwood was the guardian of the forest, and its wisdom and magic kept the balance of nature intact. In a cozy burrow at the edge of the enchanted forest lived a little mouse named Oliver. Oliver was not like the other mice. While his friends were content to play and forage close to their homes, Oliver had a thirst for adventure. He often heard stories of the wonders and dangers that lay deep within the forest, and he longed to see them for himself. One sunny morning, as Oliver was gathering berries, he overheard two sparrows talking excitedly about a dark cloud that had settled over Elderwood. They spoke of a terrible curse that had been cast upon the ancient tree, causing its magic to fade and the forest to wither. The once lively forest was now in grave danger. Without hesitation, Oliver decided that he had to help. He knew the journey would be perilous, but his heart was filled with courage. Armed with only a small satchel of provisions, he set off toward the heart of the enchanted forest. As Oliver ventured deeper into the forest, the air grew thick with an eerie silence. The vibrant colors of the plants had dulled, and the magical creatures he had hoped to see were nowhere to be found. After hours of walking, he came across a glade where the sunlight barely penetrated the thick canopy of dying leaves. In the center of the glade stood Elderwood. The once majestic tree now looked ancient and frail, its branches drooping and its bark cracked. Oliver approached Elderwood, feeling a mix of awe and sadness. As he stood before the tree, he heard a faint whisper. "Who dares to approach me?" the voice asked, echoing through the glade. "It is I, Oliver, a humble mouse from the edge of the forest," Oliver replied, trying to keep his voice steady. "I've come to help lift the curse that has befallen you." Elderwood sighed, its branches rustling softly. "Brave little mouse, the curse was cast by a wicked sorceress who sought to control the forest's magic. She resides in a dark tower beyond the Forest of Shadows. Only by retrieving the crystal of light from her tower can the curse be lifted." Determined, Oliver asked, "How can I find this tower and the crystal of light?" "Follow the path of the silver leaves," Elderwood instructed. "But beware, for the journey is fraught with danger." With newfound purpose, Oliver set off once more. As he followed the path of silver leaves, he encountered many challenges. He crossed a rickety bridge over a chasm, outwitted a cunning fox, and navigated a maze of thorny vines. Each obstacle tested his bravery and cleverness, but Oliver pressed on. After days of travel, Oliver finally reached the Forest of Shadows. The trees here were tall and menacing, their twisted branches reaching out like claws. In the distance, he could see the dark tower, its silhouette looming against the dim light of the setting sun. Gathering his courage, Oliver approached the tower. The entrance was guarded by stone gargoyles, their eyes glowing with an unnatural light. As he drew closer, the gargoyles sprang to life, blocking his path. "You shall not pass," one of them growled. Thinking quickly, Oliver pulled out a piece of cheese from his satchel and offered it to the gargoyles. "I come in peace. Might you accept this humble gift?" The gargoyles sniffed the air and, to Oliver's surprise, stepped aside. "We appreciate your offering, little mouse. You may enter, but beware the sorceress within." With a nod of thanks, Oliver entered the tower. The interior was dark and foreboding, but he could see a faint light emanating from the top of a winding staircase. Stealthily, he climbed the stairs, careful not to make a sound. At the top of the tower, Oliver found the sorceress's chamber. The crystal of light sat on a pedestal, its radiant glow illuminating the room. The sorceress, a tall figure draped in black, was gazing into a cauldron, unaware of Oliver's presence. Summoning all his courage, Oliver darted across the room and grabbed the crystal of light. As soon as he touched it, a brilliant light filled the chamber. The sorceress let out a shriek of rage and tried to cast a spell, but it was too late. The magic of the crystal repelled her, and she vanished in a cloud of smoke. With the crystal of light in his possession, Oliver hurried back to Elderwood. As he placed the crystal at the base of the ancient tree, a wave of light spread through the forest. The leaves regained their vibrant colors, and the magical creatures returned, singing and dancing with joy. Elderwood's voice resonated with gratitude. "Thank you, brave Oliver. You have restored the balance and saved the enchanted forest." Oliver returned to his burrow, hailed as a hero by the creatures of the forest. He had proven that even the smallest of us can make a big difference. From that day on, the enchanted forest thrived, and Oliver's adventures became the stuff of legend, inspiring all who heard his tale. And so, the enchanted forest and its inhabitants lived happily ever after, under the watchful eye of Elderwood and the brave little mouse who saved them all. ####the end. Once upon a time, in the idyllic kingdom of Eldoria, there was a deep and mystical forest called the Whispering Woods. The forest was known for its ancient trees, shimmering streams, and most of all, its guardian, a majestic silver phoenix named Leora. Leora was a mythical creature with feathers that shone like the moon and eyes that glowed with wisdom. Her role was to protect the forest and ensure balance and harmony within it. One fateful day, a darkness began to creep into the Whispering Woods. The streams dried up, the trees withered, and a sense of despair settled over the land. The source of this darkness was a cursed amulet, hidden deep within the heart of the forest. It had been lost for centuries, but its malevolent power had awakened, threatening to engulf the entire kingdom. The wise and gentle King Alden of Eldoria knew that to save his kingdom, someone needed to find and destroy the cursed amulet. He called upon the bravest and most selfless of his subjects to undertake this perilous quest. Among those who answered the call was a young girl named Arya. Arya was known throughout the kingdom for her kind heart, bravery, and unwavering determination. Arya had grown up listening to tales of the Whispering Woods and the Silver Phoenix. She felt a deep connection to the forest and a strong desire to restore its beauty and balance. With a heart full of courage, she set out on her quest, carrying nothing but her father's old sword and a small, enchanted lantern that glowed with a soft, comforting light. As Arya ventured deeper into the Whispering Woods, she encountered various challenges and trials. The once friendly creatures of the forest had become hostile under the influence of the cursed amulet. Arya used her wit and bravery to navigate through these obstacles, always guided by the soft glow of her lantern. One evening, as the moon cast a pale light over the forest, Arya found herself at the edge of a dark, forbidding glade. She knew this must be the heart of the forest where the cursed amulet lay hidden. However, before she could enter, a brilliant flash of silver light descended from the sky. It was Leora, the Silver Phoenix, her feathers gleaming with an otherworldly light. Leora landed gracefully in front of Arya and spoke in a voice that was both gentle and powerful. "Young one, why do you seek the heart of the forest?" Arya bowed respectfully and replied, "Great Leora, I seek to destroy the cursed amulet that is poisoning our land and restore the balance to the Whispering Woods." Leora looked into Arya's eyes and saw the sincerity and determination in her heart. "Very well, brave one. To defeat the darkness, you must find the silver feather. It is the only thing powerful enough to destroy the cursed amulet. But beware, the feather is hidden in the Cave of Echoes, guarded by the Spirit of Shadows." Arya thanked Leora and continued her journey, guided by the Silver Phoenix's wisdom. She soon arrived at the Cave of Echoes, a dark and eerie place filled with the whispers of ancient spirits. The Spirit of Shadows emerged from the darkness, a formidable being with eyes that glowed like embers. To test her worthiness, the Spirit of Shadows challenged Arya to a duel of wits. "Answer my riddle, and the silver feather shall be yours," it said. "Fail, and you will be lost in the shadows forever." The spirit then asked, "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness flies. What am I?" Arya pondered the riddle carefully. She thought about the elements of the forest and the nature of shadows. After a moment of deep reflection, she answered, "You are a cloud." The Spirit of Shadows smiled and nodded, impressed by her wisdom. "You have answered correctly, brave one. The silver feather is yours." It handed her a gleaming feather that shimmered with a radiant light. With the silver feather in hand, Arya made her way back to the heart of the forest. The cursed amulet lay in a dark, twisted shrine, its malevolent energy pulsating through the air. Arya held the silver feather high and, with a surge of determination, plunged it into the amulet. A blinding light erupted from the feather, engulfing the amulet in a blaze of pure, white fire. The darkness began to dissolve, and a sense of peace and balance returned to the Whispering Woods. The streams flowed once more, the trees regained their lush green foliage, and the creatures of the forest were freed from the amulet's curse. Leora, the Silver Phoenix, appeared once again, her eyes filled with gratitude and pride. "You have done it, Arya. You have restored the balance and saved our land. The Whispering Woods and all of Eldoria owe you a great debt." Arya returned to the village as a hero, celebrated by all for her bravery and selflessness. The Whispering Woods flourished, its beauty and magic restored, and the tale of the young girl who saved the kingdom became a cherished legend. And so, Eldoria thrived once more, a land of harmony and enchantment, forever grateful to the brave heart who had ventured into the darkness and brought back the light. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between towering mountains, there lived a young shepherd named Ilara. Ilara was known for her kind heart and her deep connection with the night sky. Every evening, after leading her sheep to the meadows, she would lie on the soft grass and gaze up at the stars, feeling as if they were old friends whispering secrets of the universe to her. One summer night, as Ilara watched the stars twinkle in the dark sky, she noticed something unusual. A bright, fiery streak shot across the heavens and seemed to land on the peak of the tallest mountain, Mount Astron. The villagers, too, saw the strange light and whispered among themselves that it must be a falling star, a sign of great importance. Curiosity sparked in Ilara's heart. She had always believed that the stars held magical powers, and the idea of a fallen star intrigued her. Early the next morning, she decided to climb Mount Astron to see if she could find where the star had landed. With her loyal dog, Luna, by her side, she set off on her journey. The climb was steep and challenging, but Ilara's determination was unwavering. As she ascended higher, the air grew thinner and colder, but Luna kept close, offering warmth and comfort. After hours of climbing, they reached the peak, where they found a strange sight, a small, glowing stone nestled in the snow. The stone shimmered with a soft, blue light, resembling the twinkling of the stars Ilara loved so much. Ilara carefully picked up the stone, feeling its warmth despite the icy surroundings. As she held it in her hands, she felt a gentle pulse, like a heartbeat, and a soothing voice echoed in her mind. "I am the starry night stone," the voice said, "a fragment of the sky, fallen to earth. I carry within me the power of the stars, and I have chosen you, Ilara, as my guardian. With my power, you can bring light to the darkest of places and hope to the most despairing hearts." Ilara was filled with wonder and a sense of responsibility. She knew she had been given a gift, but also a duty to use it wisely. She thanked the starry night stone and promised to protect it and use its power for good. As Ilara and Luna made their way back down the mountain, they encountered a dense fog that seemed to grow thicker with each step. Soon, they could barely see the path before them. Ilara felt a pang of fear, but then remembered the stone in her pocket. She held it up, and its soft blue light pierced through the fog, revealing the way forward. Grateful, Ilara and Luna continued their descent, the stone guiding them safely back to the village. News of Ilara's discovery spread quickly, and soon the villagers gathered around her, curious to see the magical stone. As she held it up for all to see, the stone glowed brighter, and the villagers felt a wave of warmth and peace wash over them. The once worried faces of the villagers softened, and their hearts filled with hope. Days turned into weeks, and Ilara began to notice a change in the village. The crops, which had struggled to grow in the harsh mountain climate, began to flourish. The sick and weary found renewed strength, and the village, which had once been on the brink of despair, was now thriving. The starry night stone's magic was bringing light and life to every corner of the land. But one day, a dark cloud appeared on the horizon. A neighboring kingdom, ruled by a greedy and jealous king named Malgar, had heard of the starry night stone and its power. Desiring the stone for himself, King Malgar sent his soldiers to take it by force. When the soldiers arrived at the village, demanding the stone, Ilara knew she had to protect it. She held the stone tightly and called upon its power. The stone began to glow with an intense light, and as Ilara raised it high, the light burst forth like 1,000 stars, blinding the soldiers and filling the sky with a brilliant, celestial display. The soldiers, overwhelmed by the light and power of the starry night stone, fled in fear, leaving the village in peace. King Malgar, upon hearing of the stone's true strength, dared not send his soldiers again. Realizing the stone's power could bring both great good and great danger, Ilara knew it was too powerful to keep in the village. That night, she returned to the peak of Mount Astron, with Luna faithfully by her side. There, she placed the starry night stone on a high ledge, where it could continue to shine over the land but remain out of reach of those who would misuse its power. As Ilara stepped back, the stone began to rise into the air, higher and higher, until it returned to the sky, becoming a new star among the constellations. This star, brighter than any other, would forever watch over the village, a symbol of hope and protection. Elara returned home, her heart full of peace, knowing she had fulfilled her duty. The village continued to thrive, and the villagers never forgot the young shepherd who had brought the stars down to earth and saved them all. And so, whenever the people of the village looked up at the night sky and saw the bright star shining above Mount Astron, they would remember the tale of Elara and the starry night stone, and how light and hope will always find a way, even in the darkest of times. The end. Once upon a time, in a land high above the clouds, there was a magical kingdom called Etheria. Etheria floated in the sky, held aloft by powerful crystals embedded in its foundation. These crystals glowed with a radiant light, sustaining the kingdom's enchantments and keeping it afloat. The ruler of Etheria was a wise and kind queen named Seraphina, who had a daughter named Elara. Princess Elara was adventurous and curious, always yearning to explore the world beyond her floating kingdom. Though the people of Etheria loved her dearly, they worried about her desire to leave the safety of their skybound realm. One day, while wandering through the palace gardens, Elara stumbled upon an ancient book hidden in the hollow of a great oak tree. The book was filled with tales of a wondrous place called the Crystal Lake, a mystical body of water that was said to grant the deepest wishes of those pure of heart. The lake was located far below Etheria, in the heart of the enchanted forest on the surface of the earth. Determined to find the Crystal Lake, Elara decided to embark on a journey to the surface world. She knew the journey would be perilous, but her heart was set on discovering the wonders she had read about. She packed a small satchel with provisions and a glowing crystal from Etheria to guide her way, then set off under the cover of night. Elara descended from the sky on a cloud chariot, landing gently at the edge of the enchanted forest. The forest was a place of great beauty, filled with towering trees, vibrant flowers, and magical creatures. But it was also a place of great danger, where shadows moved of their own accord and whispers filled the air. As Elara ventured deeper into the forest, she encountered a mischievous sprite named Leora. Leora had bright, sparkling wings and a cheeky grin. Sensing Elara's determination, Leora offered to guide her to the Crystal Lake, but only if Elara could solve a riddle. "Tell me, princess," Leora said with a twinkle in her eye, "what is something that is full of holes but still holds water?" Elara thought for a moment before answering, "A sponge." Leora clapped her hands in delight. "Correct. Follow me, princess. The path to the Crystal Lake is treacherous, but with my help, you will reach it safely." With Leora leading the way, Elara navigated through a series of challenges. They crossed a bridge guarded by a fierce troll, outwitted a sly fox who tried to lead them astray, and solved the puzzle of a talking door that blocked their path. Each challenge tested Elara's bravery, intelligence, and kindness. Finally, after days of travel, they arrived at the Crystal Lake. The water shimmered with an otherworldly light, and the air around it was filled with a soothing melody. Elara approached the lake and knelt by its edge, gazing into its depths. She closed her eyes and whispered her deepest wish, to bring a piece of the lake's magic back to Etheria, so her kingdom could share in its beauty and wonder. As she finished her wish, the lake began to glow even brighter. A small, luminescent crystal emerged from the water and floated into Elara's hands. The crystal pulsed with a gentle warmth, and Elara knew it contained the magic she sought. With the crystal safely in her possession, Elara and Leora made their way back to the edge of the forest. There, Elara bid farewell to her newfound friend and promised to return one day. She ascended to Etheria on her cloud chariot, the crystal's light guiding her way. When Elara returned to Etheria, the people marveled at the radiant crystal she brought back. Queen Seraphina was overjoyed to see her daughter safe and sound, and proud of her bravery and determination. The crystal from the Crystal Lake was placed in the heart of the kingdom, its magic blending with the Etherian crystals and enhancing their power. Under the glow of the new crystal, Etheria flourished like never before. The floating kingdom became even more beautiful and prosperous, and its people were filled with a renewed sense of wonder and gratitude. Princess Elara's adventure inspired many to be brave and seek out the beauty and magic in the world around them. And so, the kingdom of Etheria continued to thrive, high above the clouds, its people living happily ever after under the watchful eyes of their wise queen and their brave, adventurous princess. The end. In the heart of a sprawling kingdom, nestled between towering mountains and endless meadows, there was a quaint village named Everwood. Everwood was famous for its lush gardens and the shimmering river that wound through its center. The village was known to be under the protection of a magical sapphire stone, said to bring prosperity and peace. The sapphire stone was kept hidden in the tallest tower of the village's castle, watched over by a wise old wizard named Cedric. Cedric had dedicated his life to ensuring that the stone's magic remained undisturbed. However, rumors began to spread that a dark sorcerer, Morgoth, was plotting to steal the sapphire and use its power for his own wicked purposes. One crisp autumn morning, a courageous young woman named Arya, known for her bravery and quick thinking, learned about the danger threatening her beloved village. Determined to protect Everwood, Arya sought out Cedric to offer her help. Cedric, though initially hesitant, recognized Arya's fierce determination and agreed to guide her through the castle's many defenses. He handed her a small, enchanted map that would lead her to the sapphire stone. The map was magical, glowing softly and showing the way through the castle's hidden passages and secret traps. Arya set off on her quest, the map guiding her through winding corridors and ancient staircases. The castle was filled with puzzles and obstacles, each one more challenging than the last. As she navigated the castle, she encountered 3 trials, each testing her courage and wisdom. Trial 1, the Labyrinth of Shadows. Arya entered a vast labyrinth where the walls seemed to shift and move. Shadows danced along the pathways, creating illusions and misleading her. To find her way, Arya focused on the gentle hum of her enchanted map, which pulsed with a soft light. By trusting her instincts and following the map's guidance, she found the correct path and exited the labyrinth. Trial 2, the Hall of Echoes. In the Hall of Echoes, Arya faced a series of enchanted mirrors that repeated her voice and created confusing echoes. To pass this trial, she needed to decipher the true voice among the echoes. Using her keen sense of listening and her knowledge of ancient riddles, Arya solved the puzzle and discovered the hidden door that led her to the next challenge. Trial 3, the Chamber of Fire. The final trial was a chamber filled with blazing fire pits and intense heat. To cross safely, Arya needed to cool the flames using a magical incantation written in an ancient script. With Cedric's guidance and her own bravery, Arya recited the incantation, and the flames died down, revealing a staircase leading to the tower where the sapphire stone was kept. At the top of the tower, Arya found the sapphire stone, glowing with a brilliant, calming light. As she approached it, Morgoth appeared, his dark robes billowing as he prepared to seize the stone. Arya confronted the sorcerer, using her quick thinking to outwit him. She cleverly distracted Morgoth with a series of illusions created by her own magic, buying herself enough time to place protective wards around the sapphire. Morgoth, enraged and frustrated, was forced to retreat, unable to break through the wards. With the sapphire stone safe and secure, Arya returned to the village, where she was hailed as a hero. Cedric praised her bravery and presented her with a special token, a silver locket containing a tiny piece of the sapphire's magic. From that day on, Everwood thrived under the protection of the sapphire stone, and Arya's name became legendary. She continued to safeguard her village and share her wisdom, knowing that true bravery and cleverness were the greatest tools in protecting what one holds dear. And so, under the shimmering sky and with the magic of the sapphire stone shining brightly, Everwood remained a beacon of hope and prosperity, forever protected by the courage of a single brave heart. In a quaint village nestled by a vast, enchanted forest, there was a small, old-fashioned house with a cobblestone path that led to a charming garden filled with wildflowers. The house belonged to an elderly man named Thorn, known by everyone as the Lantern Keeper. Thorn was a solitary figure who lived in harmony with the forest and tended to a collection of magical lanterns that adorned his garden and home. Each lantern was unique, crafted from shimmering glass and intricate metalwork, and each held its own special magic. The villagers knew little about the lanterns, except that they seemed to glow brighter when the forest was in need. Thorn never spoke much about them, preferring instead to quietly go about his work, always ensuring that the lanterns were lit and in good condition. One warm summer evening, a young girl named Lyra, full of curiosity and wonder, decided to visit the lantern keeper. Lyra had heard whispers of a special lantern, one that was said to hold a secret powerful enough to change the fate of the entire village. The village had been experiencing strange happenings, crops failing, animals acting oddly, and a pervasive feeling of unease in the air. Lyra hoped that Thorn might know something that could help. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the village, Lyra made her way to Thorn's home. She knocked on the door, and after a moment, it creaked open to reveal Thorn's warm, inviting smile. "Good evening, Lyra," Thorn greeted her. "What brings you here?" Lyra took a deep breath and stepped inside. "I've come to ask about the lanterns. The village is troubled, and I've heard that there might be one lantern that holds a secret to help us." Thorn's eyes twinkled with a hint of sadness. "Ah, the lanterns. They do indeed hold magic, but each lantern's magic is bound to its own purpose. There is one lantern, however, that may hold the key to solving your village's troubles. It is called the Lantern of Echoes." Thorn led Lyra to a hidden corner of his garden, where a lantern of delicate design sat upon a pedestal. The Lantern of Echoes was unlike the others, with its glass surface etched in swirling patterns that seemed to shift and change with the light. Its glow was soft but warm, casting intricate shadows on the surrounding plants. "This lantern," Thorn explained, "has the power to reveal hidden truths. But its light only works when it is filled with the essence of sincere courage and selflessness." Lyra looked at the lantern with a mixture of awe and determination. "How can I harness its power?" Thorn nodded. "The lantern's power is activated by a simple yet profound act of bravery and compassion. You must be willing to face your fears and put the needs of others before your own. Only then will the lantern reveal its secret." With a heart full of resolve, Lyra agreed to undertake the task. Thorn handed her a small, enchanted pouch. "This pouch contains a drop of magic from the forest. Use it wisely, and remember to stay true to your heart." Lyra thanked Thorn and set out into the forest with the Lantern of Echoes. As she walked, she encountered various challenges: a frightened deer caught in a snare, a tree blocking her path, and a deep ravine she needed to cross. Each time, Lyra faced the challenge with bravery and kindness, helping the deer, clearing the path, and finding a safe way across the ravine. With each act of selflessness, the Lantern of Echoes began to glow brighter. The forest seemed to respond to her actions, and a gentle breeze carried her forward. Finally, she reached a serene glade bathed in moonlight. At the center of the glade was a crystal-clear spring, and the Lantern of Echoes began to shine with a brilliant, silver light. The light from the lantern reflected off the water, revealing a hidden message inscribed on a large stone at the edge of the spring. The message read, "To restore balance and harmony, one must listen with an open heart and act with courage and kindness." Lyra understood that the secret of the Lantern of Echoes was not just about magical solutions but about embodying the values of courage and compassion. She knew that the key to solving the village's troubles lay in these principles. Returning to the village, Lyra shared her experiences and the message from the lantern. Inspired by her bravery and the wisdom she had gained, the villagers rallied together to address the issues facing their community. They worked to mend broken relationships, help one another through difficulties, and approach their problems with renewed hope and cooperation. The village began to thrive once more, with crops growing lush and animals returning to their normal behavior. The Lantern Keeper's home remained a place of wonder, and Lyra's courageous journey became a cherished story told throughout the village for generations. And so, the Lantern of Echoes continued to shine softly in Thorn's garden, a symbol of the power of selflessness and the light that courage and kindness can bring to even the darkest of times. Once upon a time, in a land where the trees whispered secrets and the rivers danced with moonlight, there was a small village named Eldergrove. This village was known for its lush forests, where every tree had a story and every creature had a song. But most enchanting of all was the Whispering Forest, a magical woodland that no one had dared to enter for centuries. The Whispering Forest was said to be home to ancient magic and guarded by a wise and mysterious guardian named Eldon. Eldon was a gentle spirit who only revealed himself to those with pure hearts and brave spirits. The villagers had always lived in harmony with the forest, but they had never ventured into its depths, respecting the old tales that spoke of its magic and mystery. In the village of Eldergrove lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her love of nature and her desire to help others. She had heard countless stories about the Whispering Forest and had always dreamed of exploring it. The forest had always fascinated her, especially because her grandmother had once told her about a hidden treasure within it that could heal any illness. One day, Lyra's grandmother fell ill with a mysterious ailment that no doctor could cure. Desperate to help her, Lyra remembered the old stories and decided that she must find the hidden treasure in the Whispering Forest to save her grandmother. With a heart full of hope and determination, Lyra prepared for her journey. She packed a small bag with essentials, a map, some food, and a special locket her grandmother had given her. The locket was said to hold the power of protection and was enchanted with a touch of the forest's magic. As the sun set and the moon rose high, casting a silvery glow over the land, Lyra ventured towards the edge of the Whispering Forest. The trees seemed to hum softly as she approached, their leaves rustling in a gentle breeze. She took a deep breath and stepped into the forest, guided by the soft, ethereal light. The forest was unlike anything Lyra had ever seen. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches stretching out like welcoming arms. The ground was carpeted with moss that glowed faintly, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of wildflowers. Every now and then, Lyra would hear a soft whisper or a faint melody, as if the forest itself was speaking to her. As Lyra walked deeper into the forest, she came across a clearing with a crystal-clear pond at its center. The pond sparkled with a magical light, and a delicate bridge made of vines and flowers arched over it. Standing at the edge of the pond was Eldon, the guardian of the forest. He was a tall figure with a flowing robe of leaves and a crown of blossoms, his eyes shining with wisdom and kindness. Eldon smiled warmly at Lyra. "Welcome, brave traveler. I have been waiting for you. The forest has sensed your pure heart and your noble quest." Lyra was both amazed and nervous. "I seek the hidden treasure of the Whispering Forest. My grandmother is ill, and I believe that this treasure can heal her." Eldon nodded solemnly. "The treasure you seek is indeed powerful, but it is not easily found. The forest will only reveal it to those who prove themselves worthy through acts of kindness and bravery." Lyra listened intently as Eldon continued, "You must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your heart and your spirit. Only then will the forest guide you to the treasure." With determination in her eyes, Lyra agreed to the tasks. Eldon led her to the first challenge, a grove where magical creatures were trapped in enchanted vines. They had been imprisoned by a dark spell that had spread through the forest. Lyra saw that the vines were thick and tangled, but she did not hesitate. She worked tirelessly, carefully unraveling the vines and freeing the creatures. The animals, including fairies and small woodland creatures, chirped and fluttered with joy as they were set free. Lyra felt a deep sense of satisfaction knowing she had helped them. For the second task, Eldon took Lyra to a hill where a giant tree had fallen, blocking the path for many travelers. The tree was enormous, and Lyra knew it would be a great challenge to move it. With Eldon's guidance, she used all her strength and creativity, using ropes and branches to slowly and carefully clear the path. As Lyra worked, she felt the support of the forest. The animals and fairies she had helped earlier came to lend a hand, and together they managed to move the tree. The path was cleared, and travelers would once again be able to pass through. The final task was the most challenging. Eldon led Lyra to a dark part of the forest where the magic had begun to fade. The plants were wilting, and the air was heavy with sadness. Lyra needed to restore the magic by planting enchanted seeds that would bring the forest back to life. Lyra worked with dedication, planting the seeds and watering them with the enchanted water from the pond. As she did so, she sang a soothing song that she remembered from her grandmother's tales. The magic began to return, and the forest started to bloom with vibrant colors once again. Having completed the 3 tasks, Lyra returned to Eldon. the guardian was pleased and led her to a hidden glade where a beautiful chest lay covered in vines. Eldon gently opened the chest, revealing a glowing crystal vial filled with a shimmering liquid. "This is the treasure you seek," Eldon said. "It has the power to heal and restore. Use it with love and it will bring healing to your grandmother." Lyra thanked Eldon and the forest with all her heart. She took the vial and made her way back to Eldergrove. With the vial in hand, she hurried home and administered the healing liquid to her grandmother. As the liquid touched her lips, her grandmother's color returned, and she awoke with a smile. The village celebrated Lyra's bravery and kindness, and the Whispering Forest continued to thrive, its magic renewed by the love and courage of a young girl. The forest remained a place of wonder and enchantment, a testament to the power of pure hearts and selfless deeds. From then on, the villagers spoke of Lyra's adventure as a cherished tale, reminding everyone that the greatest magic of all is found in the strength of kindness and the power of the heart. The end. Once upon a time, in a village nestled at the edge of a magical forest, there stood an ancient willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. The villagers believed the tree held great secrets and magical powers, as its branches would sway gently even without a breeze, and its leaves would rustle with soft, melodic whispers. In this village lived a curious young girl named Elowen. Elowen had always been fascinated by the Whispering Willow and its mysterious whispers. She spent her afternoons sitting beneath its branches, trying to decipher the whispers and unravel its secrets. One day, as she was resting under the tree, a particularly clear whisper reached her ears: "Find the lost star and restore the light." Elowen's heart raced with excitement. She had heard tales of a fallen star that had once illuminated the night sky but had been lost for many years. Determined to restore the star's light, Elowen set out on a quest. Armed with a small backpack containing a map, a lantern, and some provisions, Elowen ventured into the forest. As she walked, she noticed the trees growing denser and the light growing dimmer. The forest was enchanting but mysterious, with paths that seemed to twist and turn on their own. As dusk fell, Elowen found herself in a grove filled with bioluminescent flowers that glowed softly in the darkness. At the center of the grove stood a tall, majestic creature, a unicorn with a shimmering mane and a gentle, knowing gaze. "Welcome, brave Elowen," the unicorn spoke in a melodious voice. "I am Lumina, the guardian of the lost star. To find the star, you must first prove your heart's worth." Lumina told Elowen that the path to the star was fraught with challenges that tested her courage, kindness, and wisdom. Elowen accepted the challenge with determination and gratitude. The first challenge led Elowen to a deep, dark cave. Inside, she found a small, frightened dragon whose tail was trapped under a heavy rock. The dragon's eyes were filled with fear, but Elowen approached calmly and gently moved the rock. The dragon thanked her with a warm, grateful smile and shared a clue: follow the path where the moonlight touches the earth. With the clue in mind, Elowen followed the path bathed in moonlight. It led her to a serene lake with waters as clear as glass. There, she encountered a wise old turtle who was stuck in a tangle of vines. Elowen carefully freed the turtle, and in return, the turtle gave her another clue: the star lies beyond the tree that never falls. Guided by the clues, Elowen reached a towering, ancient tree that seemed to touch the heavens. Its branches stretched out in all directions, and its roots were entwined with the very earth. At the base of the tree, Elowen discovered a hidden door covered in intricate carvings. With a deep breath, she opened the door and stepped into a hidden chamber illuminated by a soft, celestial glow. At the center of the chamber lay the lost star, a beautiful, radiant gem that had lost its brilliance. Elowen approached the star and spoke softly. "I have come to restore your light. Please, return to the sky where you belong." As she spoke, a magical aura enveloped the star, and its light began to rekindle. Elowen watched in awe as the star's brilliance grew brighter and brighter, filling the chamber with a dazzling glow. The star floated gently from its resting place and ascended through a hidden opening in the ceiling. As it rose, it illuminated the sky, casting a beautiful, golden light over the forest and the village beyond. Iloan emerged from the chamber to find the forest bathed in the star's warm glow. Lumina, the unicorn, appeared beside her, beaming with pride. "You have shown great courage, kindness, and wisdom," Lumina said. "The lost star is now restored, and its light will guide and protect the forest and village for years to come." Iloan returned to her village, where she was greeted with joy and celebration. The villagers marveled at the star's renewed brilliance and were grateful for Iloan's bravery. The whispering willow, once again, rustled with happy whispers, and its leaves sparkled in the star's light. And so, Iloan's adventure became a cherished story in the village, reminding everyone of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that lies within each heart. The whispering willow continued to offer guidance and wisdom to those who sought its whispers, and the lost star shone brightly in the night sky, a symbol of hope and wonder. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a beautiful forest known as the Enchanted Forest. The trees there whispered secrets, and the flowers sang lullabies. The forest was protected by magical creatures who lived in harmony, ensuring no harm would come to their beloved home. In the heart of this kingdom stood a grand castle, where King Edmund and Queen Isabella ruled with kindness and wisdom. They had a daughter named Princess Lily, who was as curious as she was brave. Princess Lily loved to explore the enchanted forest, always accompanied by her loyal dog, Max. One day, while wandering deeper into the forest than ever before, Princess Lily and Max came across a shimmering pond. The water sparkled under the sunlight, and in the middle of the pond was a small island with a beautiful, glowing flower. Drawn to its beauty, Princess Lily decided to take a closer look. Just as she stepped onto the island, a sudden mist enveloped the area. When the mist cleared, Princess Lily found herself in a strange, unfamiliar part of the forest. She was lost. Max barked worriedly, and Princess Lily tried to calm him, though she herself felt a bit scared. As they wandered, trying to find their way back, they met a wise old owl named Oliver. "Who are you, young one?" asked Oliver. "I am Princess Lily," she replied. "I seem to be lost. Can you help me find my way back home?" Oliver's eyes twinkled kindly. "The forest has many paths, but not all lead where you wish to go. To find your way, you must seek the help of 3 guardians: the spirit of the trees, the guardian of the river, and the keeper of the stars." Princess Lily thanked Oliver and set off with Max to find the first guardian. They soon came to a grove of ancient trees. As they walked among them, the trees seemed to bend and move, guiding her. From behind the largest tree, a gentle voice spoke. "I am Silva, the spirit of the trees. Why do you seek me, Princess?" Princess Lily explained her plight, and Silva smiled warmly. "To help you, I will give you a leaf that always points north. It will guide you through the forest. But remember, it can only show you the way, you must find your courage to follow it." With the magical leaf in hand, Princess Lily and Max continued their journey. They followed the leaf's direction until they reached a wide, flowing river. The water was clear and blue, and on its surface, tiny fish danced in the sunlight. By the riverbank, a graceful deer emerged from the trees. "I am Ril, the guardian of the river. How can I assist you, Princess?" Again, Princess Lily shared her story. Ril dipped her head and said, "I will grant you a vial of enchanted water. It will give you strength and clarity when you need it most. But remember, true strength comes from within." Grateful for Ril's gift, Princess Lily and Max crossed the river and continued their quest. As night fell, the forest began to glow with the light of countless fireflies. They soon found themselves in a meadow under a sky filled with stars. In the center of the meadow stood a unicorn with a shimmering mane. "I am Astra, the keeper of the stars. Why have you come to me, Princess?" Princess Lily told Astra of her journey and her wish to find her way back home. Astra's horn glowed brightly as she said, "I will give you a star to light your path. It will shine the brightest when you are near your goal. But remember, the light within you is what will truly guide you." With the star illuminating their way, Princess Lily and Max felt more hopeful. They continued through the forest, following the leaf's direction, drinking the enchanted water when they grew tired, and trusting the star's light. Finally, they emerged from the forest and saw the familiar towers of the castle in the distance. Overjoyed, Princess Lily and Max ran towards home. The king and queen, who had been worried sick, were overjoyed to see their daughter safe and sound. Princess Lily shared her adventure with her parents, telling them of the wise owl, the spirit of the trees, the guardian of the river, and the keeper of the stars. The king and queen praised her bravery and kindness, and the whole kingdom celebrated her return. From that day on, Princess Lily never forgot the lessons she learned in the enchanted forest. She became a wise and compassionate ruler, always guided by the courage and light within her. And so, the kingdom prospered, and the enchanted forest remained a place of magic and wonder for all to cherish. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there was a beautiful princess named Alara. Princess Alara was kind and loved by all the people in her kingdom. She had everything she could ever want, but she always felt that something was missing. She longed for adventure and wished to see the world beyond the castle walls. One sunny day, Princess Alara decided to take a walk by the enchanted lake near the castle. The lake was known for its crystal-clear water and magical creatures. Alara loved visiting the lake and talking to the animals that lived there. As she strolled along the shore, Alara noticed something shining in the water. She leaned over and saw a golden fish swimming near the surface. The fish had sparkling scales that glittered in the sunlight. "Hello, little fish," Alara said, smiling. "You are the most beautiful fish I have ever seen." To her surprise, the golden fish replied, "Thank you, Princess Alara. I am not just any fish. I am a magical fish, and I can grant you one wish." Alara was astonished. "A wish? I have always dreamed of an adventure. I wish to explore the world beyond the castle and help those in need." The golden fish nodded. "Your wish is noble, Princess. I will grant it, but remember, true adventure comes from the heart, and helping others brings the greatest joy." With that, the fish flicked its tail, and a golden light surrounded Alara. When the light faded, Alara found herself in a beautiful forest. She was no longer wearing her royal gown but a simple dress suitable for traveling. Excited and curious, Alara began her journey through the forest. She soon came across a small village where the people looked sad and worried. Alara approached a group of villagers and asked, "What is troubling you, my friends?" An elderly woman replied, "Our village is cursed by a wicked sorcerer who lives in the dark mountains. He has stolen our most precious treasures and cast a spell that makes our crops wither." Alara's heart filled with determination. "I will help you," she declared. "Show me the way to the dark mountains." The villagers were surprised by her bravery but grateful for her kindness. They gave her a map and some supplies for her journey. Alara set off towards the dark mountains, determined to break the sorcerer's curse. As Alara climbed the rugged paths of the dark mountains, she encountered many challenges. She crossed a rickety bridge over a deep chasm, solved riddles from a talking owl, and found her way through a maze of thorny bushes. With each challenge, Alara grew stronger and more confident. Finally, she reached the sorcerer's castle, a dark and foreboding place. Alara took a deep breath and entered the castle. She made her way through the dimly lit halls until she found the sorcerer's chamber. The wicked sorcerer, a tall figure in a black robe, looked at her with surprise. "Who dares to enter my castle?" he demanded. "I am Princess Alara, and I have come to end your curse and return the treasures you have stolen from the villagers," she replied boldly. The sorcerer laughed. "You are brave, Princess, but you cannot defeat me." Alara remembered the words of the golden fish, "True adventure comes from the heart." She knew she had to use her kindness and courage. "I do not wish to fight you," she said. "I believe there is good in everyone. If you return what you have taken and lift the curse, you can find redemption." The sorcerer was taken aback by her words. No one had ever spoken to him with such kindness. He thought for a moment and then said, "Very well, Princess. Your words have touched my heart. With a wave of his hand, the sorcerer lifted the curse from the village. He returned the treasures and promised to use his magic for good from that day forward. Elara returned to the village with the treasures and the good news. The villagers rejoiced and celebrated her bravery and kindness. They invited her to stay, but Elara knew she had more adventures ahead. As she continued her journey, Elara helped many more people and discovered that true adventure was about making the world a better place. She eventually returned to her kingdom, where she was welcomed as a hero. Princess Elara never forgot the lesson she learned from the golden fish. She ruled her kingdom with wisdom and compassion, and her adventures became the stuff of legends. And so, Princess Elara lived happily ever after, always ready for the next adventure, knowing that true magic comes from a kind heart and a brave spirit. The end. Once upon a time, in a distant land of shimmering lakes and golden meadows, there was a charming village named Brightvale. The village was nestled beside the Great Silver Lake, known for its mystical waters that were said to reflect not just images, but the true nature of one's heart. In Brightvale lived a young girl named Maris, known for her kindness and unquenchable curiosity. Maris had a special bond with nature and spent her days exploring the lush woods and sparkling streams that surrounded her home. Her closest friend was a playful fox named Rusty, whose fur was as red as autumn leaves. One sunny afternoon, as Maris and Rusty wandered along the lake's edge, they noticed something unusual. The usually clear water had turned a murky gray, and a strange mist hung over the lake. Concerned, Maris knelt by the water and saw a small, glowing bottle half buried in the sand. Curious, she picked it up and found a note inside. The note read, "Help us, for our light is fading. The crystal of eternal light has been stolen. Find it and restore our magic." The note was signed by the lake guardians, ancient beings who protected the lake's magic. Maris, with Rusty by her side, vowed to help. The note also contained a riddle, which Maris knew she must solve to begin her quest. Follow the path where the silver moonlight dances, seek the hidden realm where no shadow glances. Maris and Rusty set off on their journey, guided by the pale light of the setting sun. They followed the path through the whispering woods, where trees seemed to murmur secrets. As night fell, the silver moonlight began to dance on the lake's surface, leading them to an ancient archway covered in ivy. Through the archway lay a hidden realm, a magical glen bathed in moonlight. In the center of the glen stood a tall, shimmering tower made of crystal. At its base was a riddle-inscribed pedestal and a locked door. The riddle read, "Speak the truth of your heart, and the way will be revealed." Maris placed her hand on her heart and spoke honestly, "I seek to restore the magic of the lake, for the good of all." The pedestal glowed warmly, and the door to the tower creaked open. Inside, Maris and Rusty found themselves in a chamber filled with ancient scrolls and glittering crystals. In the center of the room was the crystal of eternal light, its glow dimmed by a dark enchantment. Just then, a shadowy figure appeared. It was a sorcerer who had stolen the crystal to harness its power for himself. He sneered, "You'll never defeat me." The sorcerer conjured dark clouds and summoned illusions to confuse Maris. Rusty darted around, distracting the sorcerer with his quick movements. Maris, though frightened, focused on the crystal. She remembered the ancient scrolls mentioned that love and light could break dark enchantments. Gathering her courage, Maris took a deep breath and held the crystal of eternal light to her heart. She thought of all the beauty and goodness in her village, in nature, and in her friendships. As she focused on these positive feelings, a radiant light enveloped the crystal, dispelling the sorcerer's dark magic. The sorcerer, overwhelmed by the pure light, fled into the shadows, leaving behind only his echoes of defeat. The crystal of eternal light began to shine brightly once more, its light filling the chamber and the glen. Maris and Rusty returned to Brightvale, where the lake's water had returned to its crystal-clear state. The lake guardians emerged from the waters, their forms glowing with gratitude. They praised Maris and Rusty for their bravery and restored the lake's enchantment. In celebration, the village held a grand feast by the lakeside. The waters of the Great Silver Lake sparkled under the moonlight, reflecting the joy and harmony restored to Brightvale. Maris and Rusty were honored as heroes, and their story became a beloved tale in the village, reminding everyone of the power of courage, love, and the magic found in the heart. And so, the kingdom of Brightvale thrived in peace and prosperity, forever touched by the bravery of a kind-hearted girl and her loyal friend. The end. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling hills and dense, whispering forests, there was a garden unlike any other. This garden was said to be enchanted, hidden away behind a tall, ivy-covered gate that no one had opened for generations. It was known only through the tales told by the village's elders, who spoke of flowers that sang lullabies and trees that told stories. The village was small and charming, but life there had grown a little dull. The villagers worked hard, tended to their fields, and cared for their animals, but the magic and wonder that once filled their lives had faded into memory. The only one who still believed in the tales of the enchanted garden was a little girl named Lila. Lila was curious and adventurous, with a heart full of dreams and a mind full of questions. Every evening, she would sit by the gate and imagine what lay beyond it. She imagined flowers that shimmered like stars and trees that whispered secrets of faraway lands. One summer's day, as the sun began to set and the sky turned into a canvas of orange and pink, Lila noticed something peculiar. The gate, which had always been locked tight, was now slightly ajar. Her heart raced with excitement as she pushed the gate open just enough to squeeze through. On the other side, Lila found herself in a garden that seemed to glow with an ethereal light. The flowers were indeed like stars, their petals radiating soft, shimmering colors. The trees were tall and majestic, their leaves rustling with the gentle hum of ancient psalms. The air was filled with the scent of blooming roses and the sound of melodies that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere all at once. As Lila wandered deeper into the garden, she heard a soft voice singing a lullaby. She followed the sound and came upon a small, clear pond. Floating above the pond was a tiny, shimmering figure, a fairy with delicate wings that sparkled like dew in the morning sun. The fairy was singing to the water lilies, which were swaying in rhythm with the melody. "Hello," Lila said softly, not wanting to startle the fairy. The fairy looked up with a twinkle in her eye. "Hello, little one. I am Lyra, the guardian of this garden. Few have ventured here in many years." Lila's eyes widened with wonder. "Is it really true? Do the flowers sing and the trees talk?" Lyra smiled and nodded. "Yes, indeed. This garden is a place of magic and dreams. It reflects the beauty and wonder of the world. But it is also a place that needs to be protected. Only those with a pure heart and a sense of wonder may enter." Lila's face lit up with a smile. "I've always believed in magic. I've dreamed of seeing this garden with my own eyes." Lyra's eyes softened. "Then you are truly welcome here. But before you go, there is something I must show you." With a wave of her tiny hand, Lyra led Lila to a large, ancient tree at the center of the garden. Its trunk was wide, and its branches reached up like arms toward the sky. At the base of the tree was a small door, intricately carved with symbols of stars and moons. "This is the Tree of Wishes," Lyra explained. "It holds the power to grant one true wish to someone with a heart full of dreams." Lila gazed at the tree in awe. "I don't know what to wish for. There are so many things I could ask for." Lyra nodded. "Think carefully, for your wish must come from the heart and reflect the true nature of what you desire most." Lila thought long and hard. She thought about her village and how the magic and wonder seemed to be missing from their lives. She thought about how much she wanted to share the beauty of the garden with her family and friends. Finally, she closed her eyes and made her wish. "I wish for the magic of this garden to bring joy and wonder to my village, so that everyone can feel the same happiness and wonder I feel now." The Tree of Wishes glowed softly as Lila spoke her wish. The leaves rustled, and the air seemed to hum with a gentle energy. Lyra smiled warmly at Lila. "Your wish is a beautiful one," Lyra said. "It is granted. The magic of the garden will now touch the hearts of your village." As Lila turned to leave, the garden seemed to embrace her with a warm, glowing light. She stepped back through the gate, which closed gently behind her, leaving her with a sense of peace and fulfillment. In the days that followed, the village began to change in wonderful ways. The fields flourished with vibrant flowers, the animals seemed to sing with joy, and the villagers found themselves smiling and laughing more than they had in years. The magic of the enchanted garden had spread its wonder to their lives, and the village was once again filled with the beauty and joy that Lila had wished for. And as for Lila, she never stopped believing in magic. She knew that it was not just in gardens or fairies, but in the dreams and kindness that lived in every heart. And so, the village thrived, always remembering the girl who believed in magic and made a wish for the happiness of others. And they all lived happily ever after.